Line up, you fucking nerds. Who wants a shot at the champ?
They bring the heat.
Francis Ngannou is the hardest puncher in the history of fighting.
They bring the knowledge.
If you think this fight is going 5 rounds, you are out of your mind.
They bring you the picks.
The dog is getting it done in this one.
We deliver every single week. We're bringing the heat, ladies and gentlemen.
The money line.
Don't miss it on the MMA Experts channel each week. The Money Line. We are live talking UFC Vegas 119. I am AJ, joined as always by my guy, Mike Finch. What's happening, bro?
How can we talk about an Apex fight night after what we just witnessed, AJ? Oh my God. AJ, we said it before we went on. The best mixed martial arts event in the history of the sport, and I don't even know of a close second.
I think it was the best sports event in the history of the world. It was a spectacle show, you know, from having the fighter jets flying through to the walkouts from the Oval Office. And then to the fact that we had all knockouts on the card could not have been better. UFC Freedom 250 more than delivered. And I think we got to put some respect on Dana White's name because he always delivers. We'll talk shit, we'll have doubts, we'll question. And then when it comes down to it, just like UFC 300, it happens and it blows us all away. And this surpassed 300.
I mean, in every single way you slice it. And I like starting there, right? Because I'm ready to shower Justin Gaethje with some love, dude. But let's start there. We'll shower Dana White and the UFC brass. It felt like they were promoting again. They were really storytelling. They were really going all out. Bro, when the bald eagle flew over the crowd, right, the day before, it was the weigh-ins, right? Mm-hmm. That was insane. That was absolutely insane. Everything they did was a home run after home run. You know, they had Justin Gaethje walking out of the Oval Office. I had chills, bro. He was looking at the Declaration of Independence right before he turned the corner and walked out of the Oval Office. It really felt like he had America on his back. And he goes and does that. You know, a 6-1 underdog comes through and gets it done. You know, the ring girls' outfits, the size of the setup, the huge UFC Freedom 250, all of the walkouts. You know, you could just go through the list of home run after home run after home run, setting this thing up. And the home of the brave, the planes fly over the top. Chills, bro. I had goosebumps, AJ. I mean, just incredible. And for me personally, it was the first UFC event I've watched with my dad in over 15 years. So it was just like really something special, you know? What an incredible once in a lifetime event the UFC put on. They should be so proud of that product.
More than proud, and as fans, more than enjoyed. The fights themselves, you know, we can talk all day about how they did a great job promoting the event. What went down, you couldn't have written better in a script. Justin Gaethje, the American challenger, who seemed to have no chance on paper. Ilia Topuria, the undefeated knockout artist with some of the best boxing in MMA, gets absolutely outdogged by the true all-American underdog at the White House. Not only does Gaethje win, Topuria's corner stops the fight. Bust his eyes up so bad he couldn't see. Had his face looking like a mangled mess. And the beauty of it, too, is the fact that Gaethje had to go through some hellish adversity. The body work from Topuria in the second round had Gaethje nearly gone. I'd even argue and say if Topuria would have went punch heavy as opposed to submission threatening and let Gaethje back up, there is a real chance that Ilia Topuria would have stopped Justin Gaethje in that second round. But instead, he tried to showcase some Habib-style grappling. He shot for the same submission.
The mounted triangle.
He wanted the mounted triangle. And that was a show of his confidence, which is unmatched, right? Ilia Topuria is one of the most confident fighters in the history of the sport. But I think not succeeding in that moment and then facing adversity early in round number 3 afterwards, it seems like Topuria being so confident almost was losing faith in himself at the idea he was coming from behind now and was down a little bit. Like, I think he struggled to believe that Justin Gaethje was in this fight, surviving as long as he had, and actually succeeding against him. I really believe it's almost as Topuria's confidence being so high was his detrimental flaw. What Justin Gaethje said after the fight is he was thinking about losing. So he's getting his ass kicked in round 2 saying, fuck, man, he might get me. Let me try and fucking survive. Let me hold on for dear life. Let's see. Maybe I'll win this thing. Maybe I'll pull off an upset. Whereas when Topuria was met with the adversity, it was like, no, this can't happen this way. I already had my celebration last night. And I really think that Topuria's mindset, which I think is, really just believing in his invincibility, right? When that was proven wrong, because no fighter is invincible. Any fighter can lose. Any fighter. Every fighter would lose if they continued and continued and continued. They'd all eventually meet their match, regardless of a fighter retiring undefeated. I think that Topuria struggled to come back from that. You saw him touching at his eyes, not saying they weren't bothering him bad, but you saw him losing himself in the fight. Like, no, this can't be happening. Oh my God. And I think that he was gone. Round number 4, when the fight ended, I thought the corner stoppage was fair. I really didn't think he had much left. That knee to the body that Justin Gaethje landed at the end of round number 4, Topuria had nothing in the tank. When he sat down on the stool, he just laid forward. It was like, yeah, it's time we call this thing. And Justin Gaethje continues to be one of the most terrifying guys in the history of the sport. I mean, look at everybody that fights against Justin Gaethje and loses to him takes career-changing damage. I mean, Tony Ferguson lost 7-8 fights in a row after he fought Justin Gaethje. And Topuria took a shitload of damage here. And Finch, I'm going to let you drop your, in-depth take on that. I just have a question first. What type of comeback does Topuria have after taking career-changing damage against Justin Gaethje this past weekend?
I still feel like a lot of that was lacerations, and a lot of that was I don't know that I agree that it's maybe it's not what you mean by career changing. I feel like he's going to be 100% coming into his next fight. I feel like you hit the nail on the head though. You think about, you heard what Sean O'Malley said. He goes, I pictured this happening 100 different ways. I think of the 100 different ways Ilia Topuria thought about it happening, that wasn't one of them. He wasn't thinking, I'm going to get busted up throwing punches against Justin Gaethje. He was ready for Justin Gaethje to kick that leg, but he was not thinking Justin Gaethje was going to box that well, that he's going to be running into uppercuts, bleeding out of his, right under his eye. He was like touching his eye, grabbing his eye. Brother, I'm going to zoom all the way out, okay? I was talking about how cool it would have been if Sean Strickland's upset against Hamzat was at the White House. That would have been sick. The Americans going to come through with it. Bro, this was way better. This was way better. Justin Gaethje is a 6-1 underdog who got knocked out by Max Holloway 2 years ago, comes through, wins a couple fights, puts himself in a position with a Paddy Pimblett brawl, and gets in there with the number 2 pound-for-pound fighter and stops him. Makes them throw in the towel. It was fucking madness. Yes, absolutely. He hurt him bad. Justin Gaethje was curled up against the fence. Boom, he was hitting that body. Boom. It wasn't one body shot. He was rocking him with multiple body shots. He was coming from the right, coming from the left. Eventually, he hits a clean one on the liver. You saw Justin Gaethje curl over. But what did he do? He turned and he pulled half guard. And Ilia Topuria buzzed right through to mount. But that was an issue, right? In that moment, AJ was 100% correct. He wanted some space. You saw the way Josh Hokett did it. Josh Hokett's like, nah, I'm going to stand up over the top of Black Beast to rain down these shots so I can get more kinetic energy behind these shots over the top instead of accepting mount. And it turns out that would have been a better strategy than going in mount, because Ilia Topuria was going, oh, here's an armbar. He switches to S mount. And he's like, fuck, I don't really see the arm bar. Okay, maybe mounted triangle. Fuck, I don't really see the mounted triangle. These are precious seconds. These are precious seconds. We needed to be dropping elbows on top of this dude. We need to be getting him out of there. As those seconds go by, Justin Gaethje is recovering. Justin Gaethje can actually breathe again, right? He let him off the hook, barely. But that really mattered because he was wearing a lot of damage. He spent a lot of energy, right? Coming out into the next round, now Justin Gaethje kills him. Justin Gaethje hit him so hard when he did that front headlock. Remember? My dad was yelling. He's like, what is he fucking doing? He needs to punch him. And my dad's got a point, right? You get tired in a fist fight and you know, it's easy to start going to submissions instead of continuing to empty the gas tank punching. So Justin Gaethje, you can honestly say, made a similar error. He had Ilia Topuria out and then was, you know, allowed Ilia to come back into the fight. I thought Ilia was winning, you know, the majority of that fourth round. It was not until he even took Justin down and mounted him again. He mounted Justin Gaethje again in that last round, right? But Justin Gaethje hurt him at the end there. You saw Ilia Topuria in the turtle position, need him in the ribs, as you said, which is a nasty shot. Those ribs are weak back there. One more thing. The doctor stopped the fight. Bro, the doctor was like, nah, we're done here, you know? And Mark Goddard, being a gangster, was like, overruled. Go sit over there. We're going to run this fight. Mark Goddard's a G. Mark Goddard's a G for that. AJ, did you watch his eyes when they did the test? You had the camera on him, right? And he goes, okay, follow my finger. And you're supposed to, you know, you're supposed to follow the finger. He's like, follow my finger. Ilia Topuria is just not even looking at it. It's like, here's your DUI, sir, you know? Ilia Topuria was so messed up that his brother called the fight. Now, the commentary misinterpreted what his brother said, but that was a language barrier. His brother was saying, essentially saying that, you know, we're done here. We're going to end this fight. And the way he said it, I forget the exact words now.
We finish fight. We finish fight. We finish
fight. He's saying we finish fight. We finish fight, not we're going to finish the fight.
Finish.
And
in the moment, it seemed like that. It was meaning, oh, we're going to finish. Yeah.
But in the replay, you saw what his brother was doing. His brother was going like this behind the referee. His brother called the fight. It was the right decision. Oh my God. Justin Gaethje just outboxed Ilia Topuria. What timeline are we living in? I lost my ass on some bets. Premium channel lost 3 bets on that. I put way too many eggs in the basket of Ilia Topuria. I haven't lost that much money in years betting. I mean, that was brutal. But the outcome was so legendary. I mean, the night was so legendary that I still had the best night of my life watching mixed martial arts. It was unbelievable. The storytelling with the troops, you know, a nod to the troops, the storytelling with American history, talking about different presidents. President Trump hates Barack Obama. They had Barack Obama up on the screen. They had, you know, they really did a good job trying to give a sort of an American storytelling 250 integrated with the event. AJ, what a home run. 7 fights, 7 finishes.
PDX, thank you for the $50 dono. USA.
Come on, dog. I had my daughter in her USA headband. Where is it? Somewhere over here. She was rocking the USA headband. We were hyped, dude. Thank you for the 50, bro. Very generous.
I think, you know, nothing tops that. You know, that's the high of highs. You know, we got International Fight Week with a McGregor return coming, but
does anybody even care? Like right now, like don't even talk to me. They were playing the interview with McGregor with the fist, the Irish fist hat on, right? Going back and forth with Max. I'm like, bro, not right now. Not right now. Right now we're enjoying the time of our lives.
Yeah, it was the time of our lives, man. Incredible upset in the main event. And I think, you know, the next question that we need to ask ourselves is, who the fuck is Justin Gaethje fighting next? I know the retirement talk, but bro, they're going to say, Justin Gaethje, you're on the championship contract. The paycheck that you're about to get for this next fight. You want to retire? That's the one to retire off of. Not the championship win, the championship defense attempt. And it's a very interesting situation for him to be in because there's really 3 strong names that could potentially be Gaethje's next opponent. Number 1, an obvious Ilia Topuria rematch. That fight on paper in a rematch makes sense, right? Their first fight was the fight of the night. It was the biggest fight of all time, the biggest card of all time. And I think the second time they do it would have immense hype, especially Topuria looking for his redemption story. Another option, though, the deserved number 1 contender in Arman Tsarukyan. Arman Tsarukyan's been waiting in the wings for a title shot. He's been active competing in grappling and wrestling. Haven't seen him in the cages often, but coming off a nice win against Dan Hooker. Obviously a guy that we want to see fight for gold. But I got a third option, and this one is the wild card. If somehow Conor McGregor would have win against Max Holloway, would the UFC not say, fuck, you want to get down to 155, Conor, and fight for the lightweight title against Justin Gaethje in the craziest fight that we could put together? Don't feel it's as likely, but those feel like the big 3. And then the fourth option I'm going to say is the honorable mention. I was thinking just 3, but I'll do 4. Charles Oliveira. He's won over Justin Gaethje previously. BMF champion. Called Justin Gaethje out, said he wants to put the BMF title on the line and do a BMF world title unification fight. The winner takes both. That could be huge too. Where do I feel, the map of likelihoods succeeds in? If it was a pie chart, I'd say the bigger slice is you got to run the rematch. Too big of a moment.
Right.
I'd say the smaller slice is Arman Tsarukyan. Feel like it's almost Gaethje considering, if you're going to give me Arman, I'll just retire and he can fight Oliveira in the rematch and they can fight for the vacant title. I don't know. That doesn't seem as likely. But if they told him he could get revenge against Charles Oliveira, would that not be a consideration?
He would take it.
I think he would take it. I feel like that could be the fight. I think Max Holloway, even if he beats McGregor, is probably not going to get a shot at Justin Gaethje, regardless of having a win against him. But, could be. But I really think it's probably more than likely between a Topuria rematch and maybe, a super fight of sorts with Charles Oliveira and him rematching. As much as Arman deserves it, it's a weird situation to be in when you have the Gaethje stardom here. It's like he just had his moment, and as good as Tsarukyan is, it's like, do they go to that option? I think they do Oliveira Tsarukyan too, and they run that fight as a real top contender fight, BMF title on the line. The winner of that fight is then obviously going to be next.
Tsarukyan is kind of a BMF.
He is.
Yeah, he'll fight you anywhere, bro.
Anywhere, any place, any art, doesn't matter.
You saw him at MVP trying to fight Fazil.
Yeah.
He was in the back. Yo, where's he at? They're like, bro, please.
Chill out. Yay, W young mindset for 199. Roofie Holloway would be fireworks. True.
That is no lies detected. All right, I'm gonna do McGregor first, bro. McGregor first. So I did my interview with Justin Gaethje way back, right? I posted it, just reposted it, just so people can see me hanging out with the fucking man himself. He hates Conor McGregor. Like, he does not, like, he hates him in a way where, like, he doesn't even want to entertain the fight. Like, he really does not fuck with Conor on any level, in any way, shape, or form. So honestly, I think he would be like, Conor doesn't deserve it. I don't want it. I feel like that's the energy Justin Gaethje brings based off of having a conversation with him about Conor McGregor. Although that's, of course, a lot of fun. Then Charles Oliveira, we've seen it. I don't know that you give Charles the shot, even though he was dominant against Max Holloway, the way he fought him. I don't know. Maybe Charles is still one away. Arman Tsarukyan, I think, is the obvious contender. Can you imagine they give the shot to Conor and Arman Tsarukyan's like, I'm going to kill somebody. Arman Tsarukyan's, he's like, what the fuck? Do I have to knock out this Georgie guy after this wrestling match? Like, what do you got? What viral shit do you guys need to see for me to be able to get this shot? Brother, I think you hit the nail on the head with the first one, right? In your pie chart, I don't know. Did you complete the pie chart? Are you saying most likely Ilya, right?
Most likely Ilya, yeah.
I think Ilya rematch. It was the number 2 pound for pound. He was a 6-1 dog. It was fight of the year. I mean, was that not an amazing fight? Ilya razor thin and finishing him at the end of that second round.
that would have landed some parlays for me, dog. That would have been exact. I would have had that plus 115 that you first told me about.
I know.
Dude,
that was the play. The fuck. Even though it didn't happen, bro, it was. I thought it was that close. You know.
I'll take it. You know, you live and you learn. First of all, you know, I try to download as much as I can here. It was a wild event, 7 straight knockouts. Something's got to be said for when you have a marquee event like this and people are nervous, finishes happen more often. You know, shit gets more dicey. Somebody like Justin Gaethje who thrives in chaos. Like, how many Justin Gaethje fights have been where they're both bleeding and they're both, honestly, he wasn't even wearing it as much as he has in other fights. Bro, Ilya was landing clean. Ilya was hitting him with that too. Bang, he was hitting him right in the beard. Bang, he was hitting him in the jaw. Justin Gaethje ate that shit up. Give me another one. I'm still hungry. Where's dessert? Let's go to Cold Stone. I feel like Ilia Topuria finally looked like a 145er, which I thought I would have seen by now. I saw him smoke Charles Oliveira. Charles Oliveira's a big-ass lightweight, right? I've seen him smoke Max Holloway, smoke Alex Volkanovski. I know they can make 145, but those guys have chins. Those guys are durable. You would think that you would see it by now. No, it took Justin Gaethje to really show Ilia Topuria is a blown-up 145er. Not to dunk on Ilia in any way, shape, or form, because I thought it was a ballsy performance. I think he's a gangster. I absolutely still loved it. But talking about moving up to 170, how silly does that look now, AJ?
Now that looks like the fantasy of fantasies. It's not gonna happen.
Never. This dude's too small for lightweight. Not too small for lightweight. It's the wrong way to
But
put
he's
it.
not a large lightweight. He's a smaller lightweight.
He could make 45. Like, the dude's got a 145 frame. You know, McGregor's bigger than him, and McGregor used to make 145. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So him moving up to 170 and fighting Ilia Topuria, I think one of the happiest people in the world on Sunday was Islam Makhachev. Oh, I meant to say Islam Makhachev on the other
I know
one.
what
You
you
guys
meant.
got it right. Ilia Topuria moving up to 170 fight Islam Makhachev. How big was the smile on Islam Makhachev's face? Maybe as big as when Dana was standing with Trump and the planes flew overhead. He was smiling so big it was like the Cheshire Cat from Alice in Wonderland. I think Islam Makhachev loved what he saw on Sunday.
Completely agree. He's like, all right, that fight's to bed. Let me focus on my division. Leave me the hell alone. I'm defending.
Leave me alone at number 1 pound for pound, right? There's this debate. You know, they got a little rivalry brewing. Now he's all by himself. All by himself, man.
Islam's the guy. He gained a lot from this. You know who else I think gained something from this? Paddy Pimblett. Because it's like, oh shit.
Sure.
Like Paddy Pimblett. Paddy Pimblett is an underdog against Benoit Saint-Denis coming up at UFC 329. And I don't know, man. Looking at how this fight played out, now his fight with Gaethje went, you sit there and just wonder things like, maybe Paddy is better than we were thinking after the Gaethje fight, because they both in that one looked a little sloppy, and we were thinking, Gaethje's just wild. Well, Paddy kind of turned him into a wild child. Paddy's awkwardness turned it into a weird fight. I'm looking forward to that. My God, not to jump too far ahead, but I'm glad that we hit an agreement on the next fight to make. I think Topuria Gaethje 2.
Come on.
They run it back. It's the fight to do. They close out the year with it. What the hell?
You're not buying tickets. We're going.
We're doing it. I was already counting my money right before the main event, and then Justin shit on all my tickets. But indeed, it was the best way to close out an iconic and legendary event. Hawkins is low-key brilliant. # Michelle Obama's a man. Thank you for 1999. The Michelle Obama is a man thing. He just picks. He did Brittany Griner. Now he's doing Obama. He's just trying to get clicks, man. Not true, but
this dude, and you're doing it at the White House. Like, damn, Hokett. Like, do you think Josh Hokett believes Michelle Obama's a man, or you think he's just talking shit?
I think he's just playing a heel completely.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think he believes that.
All right.
I don't think Josh Hokett is stupid.
That shit.
You know, he has a degree in, I think, political science, bro.
Is that right?
Yeah.
No,
so he's not dumb. He knows what he's doing.
Okay.
He's playing the game.
All right. Okay. Fair enough. I mean, all right. Fair enough. Yeah. I will be on the side that Michelle Obama has always been a female.
Same.
And is a very, an athletic woman, right? She's got some shoulders on her. I understand Actually, I don't. No, fuck that. Enough with the Michelle Obama as a man thing. Show some goddamn respect. Michelle Obama has a line that I've taken. It's when they go low, we go high. I like that, Michelle.
There we go.
Michelle Obama.
Cheers to Michelle Obama. Listen, the main event was madness, but it wasn't the only chaos that erupted on this wild card. In the co-main event, Ciryl Gane completely debunked the pillow fist theory that many of us had kind of held strongly. He looked heavy-handed as he dropped Alex Pereira with the jab, pulverized him with some devastating ground and pound shots, and then obviously complaints of back of the head strikes aplenty. Your boy went back and watched it in slow motion.
Me too.
You had to, because watching it live, you're thinking a lot of them were to the back of their head. I saw 3 to the back of the head, and 2 of them were grazing hammer fist. I felt that the elbow was the back of the head one elbow.
Brother, I counted 9.
You thought 9 hit the back of the head?
I counted 9 strikes to the back of the head, and they did a big disservice, okay? And a lot of you guys at home are going to be like, shut the fuck up. You guys were on Pereira. We were. but rewatch it, mofo, before you go talking shit. Rewatch it, because I did. Because I did my show, my reaction show. I didn't say anything about the back of the head shots because I thought, you know what? It was a couple to the back of the head. I didn't think it was a big deal. When I rewatched it, AJ, and I counted all those back of the head shots, hammer fists, elbows, clean back of the head, and the bad part of the back of the head, not even this part, bro. Just, George St. Pierre got hit with 2 shots to the back of the head with Matt Serra, and he lost the earth. He tapped due to strikes. Poatan was trying to find his feet, trying to figure it out. He got dropped with the jab legit. We got to give credit to Gane. I'm not doing that. But what I am saying is another one where Gane bends the rules, breaks the rules. Let's just say breaks the rules in order to get the finish. It's on Herb Dean. It's not on Ciryl Gane. It's on Herb Dean to enforce that. I've seen it before where somebody's, going for the TKO. They give a couple good shots to the back of the head and the ref will be like, no, stop. Nope, break, illegal, back of the head, 1 point. Restart this shit, or no contest. That would have been, if we're following the rules of mixed martial arts, that was the correct call. The correct call was 1 point from Gane or warning, split them up, give him 5 minutes to recover. If he can't recover, no contest. It was like really consecutive, really clear, really powerful shots to the back of the head. AJ, I counted 9.
You counted 9? I guess so. All right. We're doing back of the head. What is the mohawk area? Because is it interpretation? Is it a thin mohawk? Is it a big mohawk?
I can tell you exactly what it is.
This big or that big? How big are we?
So I've been in rules meetings. For those of you that don't know, I corner fighters. I've been in rules meetings. So what they say, okay, this is the state of California. They fought in Washington, D.C. The rule is the headphones rule. So wherever you would wear your headphones, right? Yeah. Anything, damn, I'm going to mess this sign up today, dude. I've been going crazy today. I'm hyped from this card. Anything beyond the headphones, all this back here, if it touches the ear, legal.
I thought it was the mohawk area. I thought you could hit here on the back of the head. Right here.
Headphones inside ears. That's what they just said at MMA fights I was at a month ago. Headphones rule, and then in between the ears. So back here, which is wider than yours. So maybe you counted 3 and I counted 9 because we have different.
My interpretation was mohawk.
What actually matters is what they told the fighters backstage, because those are the rules. When they do the rules meeting, whatever they describe to them backstage, them be the fucking rules, okay? That's what we're going off of, Like you go to a grappling tournament and they go, hey, guys, we're going to allow wrist locks today. Okay, cool. Now wrist locks are allowed. I don't care what the website said last week, So it's exactly what they told them at that White House, So if they said mohawk, then maybe it was 3. Brother, even 3 with the kinetic energy he was going for. Let me ask you a question in a different way. Did Ciryl Gane avoid the back of the head? No, he did not. True. He decided, fuck it, I'm going for it. and that's illegal, sir. I don't want to stay on this the whole time because I don't want to seem like a hater. Ciryl Gane boxed tremendously. Where was this against Volkov? Where was this in these other fights? His boxing looked pretty slick against Tom Aspinall, but it was like snappy jabs. He didn't like rock Tom's shit like this. Bro, he fucking rocked Poatan. He deserves credit for it. Poatan, when he got rocked, he turned away from him. You know, he was rocked. Who knows where he was at? But ideally, you turn into him. You know, in MMA, you go in, you clinch, right? You hide your head in between the legs. You freaking put your head in their stomach so they can't hit you. Turning away from him allowed Ciryl Gane to wind up, hit him with some more shots. Poatan was still getting up, all rocked and shit. But you got to remember that was after all those back of the head shots. It is what it is. Did Poatan look on to you? It looked to me like his head movement was a little off, and I've already heard pushback on this. People like, when has Poatan had defensive boxing? When has Poatan had head movement? Okay, don't confuse two things, okay? Both things can be true. Poatan does not box like a boxer. He's not bobbing and weaving. He's not rolling under shots. He does roll with shots, but that's a little different. What he does have, though, is slips. Like, watch him when he hunts people. He's right outside of the pocket. He's closing in. And as you throw straight, he usually gets his head off the center line and comes back. How nice is Poatan's slip 2-3? It's a beautiful pop, pop, pop. Right? He gets his head off the center line, comes back 2-3. And to the uneducated eye, you might not even see the slip, but if you really watch, you could see he actually slips nicely. Bro, his slips were off. His slips were off. He was stationary, and he was kind of trying to hold shit on. End of the first round, you saw his counter two. Oh, he fucking slammed one into Ciryl Gane. And I thought, okay, maybe he's waking up now, right? Gets finished in the second. Hey, the flowers belong to cheating ass Ciryl Gane, okay? Ciryl Gane goes out there and fights for your money now. Something happened along the way where when Ciryl Gane was getting to the big dance, he had ugly fight against Francis Ngannou, who was injured knee coming into that fight. Ugly fight against John Jones where he just gets run over and strangled against the fence really quickly. Now he's getting into championship fights. He's done it back-to-back now where he is just firing on all cylinders and fighting at his best. That's different. He's the French thing, right? We got to stay off of it, right? Credit goes to him. Ciryl Gane's got hands. He showed us.
Ciryl Gane definitely's got hands. Definitely's got power. Definitely's got precision, too. He was accurate, and he did his thing against Pereira. But
yeah,
to touch on what you said, Poatan was at 251 pounds. I think he might have gained a little too much weight. I think he would have probably been better coming in at 238. I think, you know, probably that extra 10 to 12 pounds he had on him that he probably could have lost, maybe slowed him down a bit. I think that's maybe why he looked slightly sluggish out there. And Josh Hockett actually said something about it. He said, you still want to be fast as a lighter heavyweight because he's 230 pounds as a heavyweight and he looks really good. Maybe if Pereira was a little lighter, it would have actually paid off here against a quick guy in Ciryl Gane if he came in at 238 or 235. Remains to be seen what Pereira is going to do because I think that's the next step about it. It's like for Poatan losing here, there's not a clear next fight. For Gane, it's title. It's Aspinall rematch, and I think that's the simple pick.
He took
now
it.
For Pereira, he's ready for it. He said he wants it in Paris too, which I think is a great idea.
You saw Aspinall respond?
He said yes.
He said yes.
He's like Eddie Hearn, shut up now. I'm fighting. All right, what are we doing here? I think for Alex Pereira, there's one option. And it's the smartest of choices. It's not Josh Hockett. It's not Sergey Pavlovich. It's not Alexander Volkov. It's not even a heavyweight fight. Get back down to 205. Carlos Ulberg is on the sidelines until the end of the year.
Yeah.
And we run that fight, Finch's dream fight, because I know he's been hype on that fight for a long time. And he goes for gold at light heavyweight again. And he can get the belt back potentially, which is huge for the UFC and huge for him. And if there comes a time where another opportunity to go to heavyweight happens, I'm sure he would take it. And I'm sure the UFC would consider obliging. But a lot of good fights at 205 for him. Ulberg, rematch with Ankalaev or trilogy with Ankalaev. Very cool still. Something that I'm cool with seeing, but probably not. I know. Khalil Roundtree rematch even if Khalil's able to beat Magomed Ankalaev. They could do a third fight with Yuri Prochazka at this point. I feel like at 205 pounds, Alex Pereira has the Ulberg fight, which even if he were to lose to Ulberg, this is another element to it. he could go up to heavyweight again and try and reinvent himself, right? Versus if he fights at heavyweight and he loses to Josh Hokit or loses to Pavlovich or Volkov, I think the optics of that would, not saying eliminate, but limit the UFC's interest. And then next time we're going to fight for the title at 205. I think regardless of this outcome, his stock is still red hot right now. They need him in a main event. They need him in a title fight. There's no clear contender at 205. And stylistically, Alex Pereira versus Carlos Ulberg is a sick fight. And I am all for that happening next.
I thought it before this event, and I think you got to think it after this event since Poatan's 38. Brother, I'll just say it here. I think Carlos Ulberg sleeps him. Carlos Ulberg, super fast. Super fast. As to where at heavyweight, I mean, could they give him, you know, Sergey Spivak's number 6, Josh Hokit's number 5, Derek Lewis is still number 9. Like, why can't he go fight Derek Lewis right now? Why can't he fight, you know, Waldo Acosta versus Poatan's pretty sick. You know, Sergey Pavlovich versus Poatan's pretty sick. There's a lot of fun stuff you could still do at heavyweight. I think what you're saying is you think he belongs at 205, but did you see his glutes? Holy shit.
All the weight went there.
Like the country boys say, you know what I mean? That boy thick. That dude is thicker than a jar of peanut butter. I don't know how the hell he's supposed to go back down to 205 with a ass like that. You know? I wasn't even trying to look, but god damn, bro, he's wearing those fucking.
That's all you could see on the screen,
tights with the white stripes on him. Like, what the fuck is he? What type of wagon is he pulling back there, bro? Like they said about what did she say about Norma Dumont? He's driving a dump truck back there. God damn. I don't know if he can make 205. I don't know if he can make 205 anymore, bro. He really swelled up. So in that case, why not run it with Derek Lewis and bounce back? Why not have, you know, I feel like at 205, they're going to give him a matchup like Derek Lewis where it's winnable and he could bounce back versus at 205. You're right. Instant title shot against Carlos Ulberg. Brother, I think that's a tough fight for him, actually. I think that's tougher than what would happen to him at heavyweight, personally.
I think you have a fair take on it. I just feel like the contract he's on, as much money as he makes per fight, it's a championship contract. You know?
Fair.
It's title fights. Unless he loses again in a title fight, then non-title. But I think title shot. I feel like that's the direction
251, bro. Is he making it?
I think he is making it. He made 85 somehow. He'll make 205. I think he'll lose the weight. I think he'll lose a lot of weight. I think it might not be good for him, though. Like, he might end up getting starched like this.
It was unnecessary how much weight he put on. I mean, in hindsight, looking back at this thing, like, I still was thinking, even when he was on Ariel Helwani's show and they said 251, I'm like, bro, nah, he's still looking like 240, bro. When he weighed in at 251, it's like, you really just changed your body. There was no real reason. I think Poatan could come in at 235 and fight Cyril Gane at heavyweight. Were those takedowns even close? Cyril Gane, you know, tried like 4 takedowns on him, probably just to get him to think about it, but he would have liked to have them. Those weren't close. You know, I feel like he didn't need all this weight on him. And, you know, now that he's here, I don't know if he can go back down.
I would love to see an attempt. Only time will tell what we get with the side of Alex Pereira, but definitely the outcome he did not want, but he'll be all right. You know, still big fights coming. Still the star of stars in the UFC. And
always fun to watch. The UFC posted that whole fight too on YouTube. If you guys want to run it back, it's not like anybody has trouble accessing the fights anymore, right? My mindset's like always like it's still pay-per-view, but you know, it's Paramount era, dog. It's all.
I love the Paramount era. You know what you do? You go on Google. You type the name of the fight that you want, and you put Paramount at the end. It comes right up in videos. You click on it, and you're right there.
Makes our job easy. Poatan's always in exciting fights. No matter what he does, he'll be at the top of the division. And AJ hit it. You know, I told you guys too, Tom Aspinall accepted it. Cyril Gane versus Tom Aspinall in Paris. And Tom Aspinall is going to be the underdog.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Can't wait to see it. Heavyweight division alive and well. Let's talk little Sean O'Malley first before, you know, anything else. Sugar Show. Getting the knockout, slimes out Zahabi. I had been saying, I'm like, I don't know. I just got this feeling it's 3rd time's the charm. Zahabi been rocked in the past 2. O'Malley puts him down. He gets the KO win. We hadn't seen an O'Malley KO since the Aljo fight where he won the belt. Was nice to see O'Malley get, a top level contender out of there. And it seems like Petr Yan has to be next, assuming he beats Merab, right? If he loses to Merab, things will get a little murky in the water. They're doing O'Malley-Merab trilogy at this point as a potential fight. I wouldn't even be blown away if the UFC tried to put that together. O'Malley's their golden goose.
I think O'Malley versus Petr Yan rematch is sick. Makes a lot of sense, Kind of we want to see that more than the rematch of Petr Yan and Merab Dvalishvili. Brother, Sugar Sean did his thing, man. He was looking good. He was looking clean. It was literally exactly what I was thinking up through the second round. I had the other take, which was like, what does it take to put this guy away? Like Jose Aldo kicked him in the head. Chito Vera caught him clean when he wasn't even biting down on his mouthpiece. It looked like with that jab, boom. It's like this guy's got a rock head. And Sean O'Malley, like you said, the last guy he knocked out was running at him. Like, Aljo was all the way leaned over his feet, and that's not how Amin Zahabi fights at all. But it was speed, bro. Speed getting to the target. And I swear something about the nerves at the White House just had people popping off looking for these finishes. So wicked performance by Sean O'Malley. Sean O'Malley was in a parlay of mine that Ilya Taporia sunk. But Sean O'Malley, looked as good as he ever has. It was a good matchup for him stylistically because he was always going to be able to outbox Amin Zahabi and land on him. Amin Zahabi was trying to kick his legs, but you heard Sean. He's like, it wasn't really doing much to me. I really think Sean O'Malley versus Petr Yan's the move, man. You got to see that shit run back again. That's a fun one because Petr Yan's going to strike with him more than Merab does. Run it.
Let's go. The Sean O'Malley Yan rematch sounds perfect for Zahabi. They'll give him somebody, he'll be around. You'll see him back at some point, but the matchmaking for that fight, less exciting for me. So we'll skip past it and get into a little Hokit Lewis action. Finch, Hokit's about that life. Hokit's on the cusp of contendership, and he handled past his prime Derek Lewis nicely. Derek Lewis had actually wanted to win. I think we have to call a spade a spade. Derek Lewis against Waldo did not give a fuck.
Right.
He was trying hard against Josh Hokit, but he was just, extremely slow and couldn't find shots. And he hit a couple of shots on Hokit. Hokit was fine. Hokit beat him up in the wrestling round number 1, gassed him out. I actually hit the second round KO call for Hokit in this one. So I was pretty hype on the Mystic Mac J. I think that Josh Hokit is going to fight Volkov next in a USA versus Russia battle. And if he wins that fight, he's next in line for the fucking title.
It's hard to tell when Derek Lewis is playing possum or not. It's hard to tell when he's like really, he got tired. Obviously they were outside and it was 90 degrees in the middle of the day. They were tired, but it gets to points where you're just like, damn, like, is he really taking a break at this moment? Is he playing possum? What is he doing? Josh Hokit struck with him well. The arm bar at the end of that round, that first round, brother, Josh, put it over a hip and break the damn thing. He's got it in the center. He's like, he's fucking yelling out. It's like, bro, like your voice isn't going to get it done. It's your hips, homie. Put that shit on a hip, right? Break that damn arm, that big ass arm of that big ass dude, Derek Lewis. He looked good with the hands. You saw the hand speed difference. A couple times Derek Lewis actually did time him and try to come over the top, but Hokit rolls with shots nice. You saw he did that a few times. The punch would be coming for him and he'll just look with it. And that was brilliant. That really made a difference. After Derek missed a couple of those ham hocks, he's like, my balls is hot. You know what I mean? He's tired. So you saw Josh Hokit actually put him away from striking. He was putting him away with those hands down low, but the hand speed difference made it not matter too much. And the looking with the shots. So Josh Hokit gets it done. What does he say as soon as he finishes the fight? I need a vacation. He deserves a vacation, bro. He came into this thing with a hand injury after an absolute barn burner war against Curtis Blades. Give him a vacation first, and then he's right in the mix up there at heavyweight. Him and Cyril Gane's a really fun fight. Him and Tom Aspinall's a really fun fight. He's been spending all this time talking shit about Poatan, but I feel like he's actually now higher up in the division. And he needs one of those names. I mean, him and Sergey Pavlovich is crazy. Anybody at the top of the division with Josh Hokett's going to be a lot of fun next. Run it.
Run it. Run it. Josh Hokett, amongst the top caliber, pulling through. Fadilu, he'll be back, I'm sure, but, you know, close to calling it. I think he's got maybe a fight left, in all honesty.
I thought he was going to retire at the White House, dog. Is there a cooler spot to retire? You know? Nobody did. Michael Chandler didn't retire.
No.
Derek Lewis didn't retire. So if you were on Poly Market fucking around, nope, no retirements at the White House.
Speaking of Michael Chandler, he got whooped badly by Mauricio Rufy.
Yeah.
It was, you know, a level.
I'm not surprised.
He got killed, man.
Yeah.
He looked really, really bad out there. I mean, Rufy was just too much for him. Chandler couldn't even get a takedown attempt really on. He was getting picked apart, and he looked uncomfortable on the feet. He was running away for a lot of the fight. 2-6 in the UFC. I think, like, you know, people that didn't see Michael Chandler's prime have this idea that he was trash, but back in Bellator, I mean, he was a bad motherfucker. He just got to the UFC a little late, had some great moments. I mean, the Charles Oliveira fight was sick. Poirier fight was sick. Gaethje fight was sick. Win over Dan Hooker was sick. Win over Ferguson was sick. But, like, it's starting to fall apart now. This was really bad. Rufy's one of the best strikers in the game, but I don't know, man. For Michael Chandler, it's like, what the fuck is left for him? A Drew Dober fight. Like, that's a cool matchup. That's one I want to see. Drew Dober and Michael Chandler throwing down. Why the hell not? Outside
McGregor?
of that. Huh?
McGregor?
It doesn't even seem like a thing anymore. I feel like Chandler looked really bad.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Chandler
I
looks like
don't
a
even know
punching
if
bag,
that
bro.
makes sense. Yeah, he looks like a punch bag. Now, if McGregor loses to Max Holloway,
That's what I'm saying.
the problem is with McGregor, if he loses to Max Holloway, is he really going to fight again? Is he going to do another fight?
He has to, right? 2 more fights on his contract?
Yeah.
2
And he
more
wants
fights
to
on
get
his
out.
contract. I think he does it, and he goes and does bare knuckle or boxing. Yeah.
The biggest thing is, would he accept being a co-main event? Conor
No.
McGregor in the co-main
Why
event.
would he have to be a co-main event?
Conor McGregor, Michael Chandler is no main event.
Don't play games with me, bro. If they
No.
pull up in Orlando, you ain't going. Don't
Maybe-
play games with me, dog.
I mean, it's a main event for a fight night, but you can't do it as a numbered event main event. Michael Chandler's lost 4 fights in a row. Conor might be losing 3 fights in a row.
Bro, Chuck Liddell was still main event no matter if Keith Jardine beats him up or whatever the fuck
Shit.
happens. It's Conor McGregor. Yes, he's the main event, AJ. Quit fucking around. You don't believe that. If Max Holloway beats McGregor, he's no longer a main event. Take it back.
Versus Chandler specifically, no.
I don't know who he's going to beat then, bro. He's a 3-1
know.
dog to Max Holloway. Like Vegas
I know.
thinks he's about to get his ass beat. If what happens, if what professionals are saying is most likely to happens, then Chandler it is. I don't know. I feel like he could wait for the date. Chandler is, just to get back on topic. I'm mostly fucking around. Just to get back on topic, Chandler is a punching bag now. We got to call a spade a spade. He cannot time another human being. I mean, it is bad, right? And he was shooting from so far away, bro. From so far, it's like Sean Strickland shooting in the desert. That bullet's just gonna keep on going. He was shooting like old school 1999 Tito Ortiz halfway across the cage shots, dude. What is this shit? Michael Chandler's done. I would agree. I would just say the history, the Ultimate Fighter against Conor, the potential payday. You know, remember McGregor was calling out Diego Sanchez. When Diego Sanchez was going out, McGregor wants an easy fight where he could win by knockout and get his feet back under him. I can't believe they gave him Max Holloway, honestly. I think that Max Holloway is pretty tough, even at 170. So Michael Chandler versus Conor, main event.
All right, there we go. Finchman's base take. Thank you for $4.99, Karate Kid Madrid. I think Hogan was trolling with that armbar. The visual of him holding the arm and smiling at his corner is hilarious. Maybe. I mean, he does have an armbar win as a pro. We noticed that you had mentioned it when we were doing the live show last week for Freedom 250.
Yeah, I mean, if he wanted to finish it, he could put it over his hip, right? Like you don't have to have the armbar in the center. You could put it over your hip because you can pop your hip. So I can take that arm, and if I can't get leverage over it from bridging, maybe I got a lower back injury like Derek Lewis. I don't know. I could take that arm, I could put the wrist out to the side, I could pop that hip, and look how much further you can get that arm to go. So he could take that arm to the side. And then if you guys saw, Derek Lewis was defending after a few seconds. So his arm was extended. He was getting armbar and he was just laying there. But after a few seconds, he grabbed Hokett's foot and pushed it up. Watch it back. I watched all the fights back. I was reeling. I was having a lot of fun. Watch, he pushes the foot up. What that does is it takes away your leverage because you can't do leg curls and pinch your knees anymore because you got one foot out. So then what he could do is he can triangle his legs. So his legs were over the top. He can now triangle his legs and then use the triangle to find the arm bar. Do I think he has all of that in his game? Maybe not. He's like a wrestler boxer. So the jury's out in my head, Karate Kid. I'm not sure if that was a full-fledged armbar attempt or not. I would say on a professional level, finish the fight. If you can finish via submission, finish via submission. Don't play with your food. If he really was playing with his food like that, I would call that a red flag when you consider betting on somebody.
There we go. I agree too. Also, listen, from Mauricio Rufy, Dan Hooker showcase next. I mean, they can do what they want to do. I don't know. Really, matchmaking for him is hard. But
he's sick, bro. I really think the
sick.
Volkanovski move was good for him, AJ.
He looks way better. He looks
better.
Yeah. Volk in the corner, too. That was cool as fuck.
That was cool. You know, fighting nerds, I know some of them were mad about it. I think Gene Silva was mad about it, right?
It's okay.
Bro, Gene, you're getting your ass beat by Diego Lopez. Look at this guy. He gets his ass beat by BSD. He bounces back and he shows better wrestling technique, albeit he just fought Michael Chandler and then before that a striker. But I think that he leveled up his grappling, training with Volk over there. I think so. Mauricio Rufy, back on the ascension. He's a special striker. He's a lot of fun to watch. Let's see Mauricio Rufy in some fun fights.
There we go. And then we got second fight on the card, the Bo Nichols slime out.
Bro,
Shins
how
Dawkins.
Nervous did Kyle Dawkins look?
He was
How
worried.
nervous, bro. He was out there. My God, I can't believe
he couldn't let it go. He was frozen in time. Yeah.
You know, he was out there hesitating. And then when he was throwing, it didn't seem like him. It just, I felt like Kyle Dawkins was he was like the high kid at the movie theater. Like, oh my God, can they smell me? I forgot my eye drops in my car. Oh my God. Yeah. Oh, I'm high. Oh, security. I got to get past security. Fuck. I should have switched my hoodie. You know, I think that Bo Nichols was out there doing his thing, hunting. Bo Nichols was out there hunting. Bo Nichols wanted that knockout. The way he went through for that takedown early on too, and then you saw Kyle Dawkins just hanging on. Oh my God, let me just, I can breathe here. You really saw him have a little heart attack in that cage. Pitiful performance from Kyle Dawkins.
Pitiful. Destructive from Nichols. First round knockout. Respect to be had. I want to see Bo Nichols versus like Roman Dolidze next. Top 15 shot. Give him a guy like Dolidze, who's kind of on the down slope. And I'll be damned. I think I'll be picking Bo Nichols to beat Roman Dolidze too.
Sean Brady was getting me hyped on Dawkins' submission game. I'm watching his front headlock work back. I'm like, this dude's got game. He was laying with Bo Nichols in his guard, didn't try a single submission. Like, dog, can we get an attack here? Can we get 1999 double wrist control? Can I start fishing, start hunting? Like, I wanted to see a lot more from his game. Bo Nichols looked good. Yeah, fuck yeah. I mean, Bo's right in the mix now. He got the head kick knockout. He just got a knockout at the White House. Now he's up in the mix, right? Now it's time. Now it's time. He was on that ascension when he got the RDR fight. Not only is he back, but he's at a new level. It's time to go for Bo Nichols. Big fights now.
Let's go. Agreed. And first fight, before we get to Vegas 119, Lopez Garcia. It was a damn savage Diego Lopez knockout.
Sick.
The over 1.5 hit by like 12 seconds. I was very hype on that shit. Diego Lopez.
You saw we bet it in Free Channel?
Yeah, I did.
Jesus. Bro, I'm with my dad. I'm like, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, we got it. And then he goes, bop, bop. Oh, shit.
Oh, my God. Perfect timing on it. Listen, Garcia, dude, I'm telling you, it's the fucking like the head over the hips thing. He has that habit. He'll come in and he'll throw. And shit, Diego Lopez does it too. But Diego Lopez got an iron chin. He's not worried. He says, fuck it, let's go. And Diego Lopez rocked him with the left hook, put him down, put him out, pounded him out. And Diego Lopez, bad motherfucker. Diego Lopez still that guy at 145. If your name's not Volkanovski, he's definitely got a chance against anybody.
He's the man. Yeah, he absorbs it all with that mustache, bro. Yeah. Diego Lopez is he had a lot of fun. You saw him running, high-fiving all the fans.
Yeah, he's a fan favorite, man. He's loved.
He has fun with it.
Yeah, you know, I really want to see. I want to see a big fight from him. I'm thinking about the division. He just slept Steve Garcia in a big way.
Yeah,
a Lerone Murphy fight would be crazy, but the fight I want is Yair Rodriguez and Noche. That's the fight we need. But I'm thinking this is like my logical take. If you're Yair, the first fight back, they say, hey, here's Diego Lopez, who fights often and just knocked out Steve Garcia at the White House. Like, that's a scary comeback fight because he hasn't fought in over a year. You know, his timing might be a little off. That's a hard matchup. I think Diego Lopez will beat Yair Rodriguez up, but I do like the idea of that fight, though.
He's so good on the ground, man. Like, I know everybody talks about Diego Lopez like a striker, and I guess he showed us why on Sunday. But, dude, his jiu-jitsu game's really nice. When he can get takedowns or, like, bully people, like Yair Rodriguez is not the most physically strong guy. I'm always concerned about people on the ground with him, too. You know, Diego Lopez, a real black belt. Like, when he mounts you, he can mess you up. Diego Lopez is the real deal. Steve Garcia is not bad either, bro. He was fighting pretty well in that first round. He's got a big left hand you got to worry about, and he'll bounce back nicely. But yeah, Diego Lopez just set the tone, bro. Diego Lopez went into that fire, found that left hook, and then every other fighter was like, all right, shit, we're going for these, what was it, $500,000 bonuses? Who ended up getting, did they give Gaethje and Topuria a fight of the night, right?
Fight of the night, Gaethje got a performance of the night bonus, and Gane got a performance of the night bonus.
Nice. Makes a lot of sense, too. I always find it unfortunate when the guys at the bottom of the card don't get the bonuses, because it means a lot to them, right? Like, you know, Cyril Gane's fought for how many titles? Gaethje's fought for the many big fights, you know, and titles. So these guys got some money. They got, Gaethje got paid, dog. Good for him. AJ. Historic. Like, I'll never forget Sunday.
No, lifetime moment. I loved every second of it. And that leads us into, though, this weekend's fights. We got fights this weekend, guys.
We do?
It's a UFC Apex card, and it's a good UFC Apex card. There's some fun matchups on it. I always enjoy a good chill Apex fight night. No, it doesn't have the hype of the White House card. No, it's not a numbered event, but a very high stakes flyweight contender fight in the main event, a sick rematch, some prospect battles, and more. And we want to jump into UFC Vegas 119 after almost an hour long chopping up about Freedom 250.
It deserved it, AJ. That's exactly what I thought too. I'm like, we're going to go like an hour, aren't we?
Oh, yeah.
AJ, it deserved it, man. Yeah. Salute to you for being live for that. And, you know, it was absolutely awesome. One thing I want to say is, these employees of the UFC coming back from Washington, D.C., like, oh, my God, we got fights Saturday. You know what I mean? I feel like they're all like, dude, we need to go get a margarita and chill, right? They're all feeling like hoke it. They're back to work. They're right back to work. They got an event right now. They're going to have July 4th off, right? And so then they can exhale, but right back to work for the UFC employees. Shout out to them for giving us more fights back to back.
Shout out to them. Listen, it's like nonstop this year because the UFC decided to start late in January, and we had a long off period.
Yeah.
This event's nearly every single fucking weekend. And I'm here for it because I love doing this shit. And we got Contender Series coming up in 2 months too. The Ultimate Fighter premiered on Sunday. So all exciting things as far as the UFC landscape. And this weekend, the excitement continues. Is it going to be the same dopamine drop as jets flying over the White House? Probably not. But it's still going to be a damn good card, and I'm looking forward to it. So let's jump right into UFC Vegas 119. Make sure you guys smash the like button and subscribe. And let's go fight number one. We got Shane Collins versus Otari Tanzilovi. I like Shane Collins a lot. I think he's a good prospect, man. I watched all my tape for this card early today. You know, I dropped my breakdown at like 6:30 today after spending the day looking into it. And what I saw from Shane Collins, he was the first guy I watched, and I was like, man, this guy's fucking talented. He's a really good kickboxer, and he's got nice hands too. I don't want to like overuse comparisons and be like, oh, he kind of reminded me of Alexandre Topuria. But like in some sense, there was like a slight glimpse of it with a little American flair. I like the striking a ton. I think that he's a really clean striker. I feel like the boxing is good too. And I feel like the difference maker in this fight, with both guys being good strikers, Collins is the better boxer. I like his hands more. Tanzilovi's a real good kicker, but he doesn't have the same ability with hands, I feel. And I think being the naturally larger guy, Tanzilovi's a bantamweight, moving up to 145. Collins is a natural 145er. I think Collins should get this thing. Probably judges scorecards. I'll say remains undefeated, gets to 8-0, and takes out the Georgian fighter. What do you think about this matchup, Finch, man?
Yeah, it's a fun one, man. I rewatched Otari take on Josias Musasa on Dana White's Contender Series and get the split decision loss with him. And, you know, seeing him like in a couple bad positions with Musasa, seeing him, like you said, not have a lot of consequence with his hands was an issue. You know, he could wrestle a little bit. He is a Georgian wrestler as well as a kickboxer. And bro, I've been watching arm wrestling. These Georgians are crazy strong with the arm wrestling. Like Georgians are just BMFs, dude. These guys are a problem. So he's got grappling too. I think you hit the nail on the head. Shane Collins fought for Lights Out before too. He fought for Lights Out back in 2024, organization I worked for. And, you know, he has, like you said, better hands and pretty well rounded. Like I was watching him hit takedowns. He's blending like the boxing with the takedowns nicely, as to where I think with Otari, Tanzilovi, it's a little more separate. Like he kind of like shuts a fight down when he's on the outside, and then he gets into the clinch and doesn't do a whole lot with it. I really needed to see more damage to pick him here. Does he have a slight wrestling edge? You know, it's gonna really matter, because if Shane Collins could take him down, he's gonna start really dominating. You know, this Musasa guy was able to get on top of him, and yeah, Tanzilovi worked back to his feet, but you know, still looked relatively inconsequential. I think Collins should be able to put punches on him and wrestle with him. If he gets takedowns, he's going to really start running away with the thing. I know that, you know, some people were ragging on Collins, you know, for not having like good opposition, but I don't really see Tanzilovi having a major edge there either. Give me Shane Collins putting the boxing and the wrestling together, getting this thing on the scorecards.
Michael Bowman, the OG, thank you for the 50, man. I enjoyed the White House. Everyone showed everyone respect. So here's my respect to the top of the MMA podcast. Thank you, bro. Michael Bowman, we love you. Thank you for the generous $50 dono.
Michael Bowman, thank you so much, man. We enjoy seeing you when you come into the chat, Michael Bowman. Really appreciate it. Everyone showed respect. Yeah, I thought so, right? I thought if you watched that broadcast, you came away like proud to be an American. If you were watching from another country, I think you probably got some inspiration from it still. You know, I really thought that they hit it out of the park. I think one of the things people were saying is it's going to be like partisan. It's going to be, oh, this is all for the president's birthday. And I think afterwards people saw that that was not the case. You know, you could say it was ideological, but in a pro-America, 250 years of independence way. So I love that you loved it too, Michael Bowman. I don't know if we're ever going to be that entertained again. So I hope you soak it up and you rewatch it like I did. Thank you for the 50, buddy.
Hey, greatest MMA chat in the universe. Thank you, Bowman. Big W. We appreciate you.
You help it, Mr. Bowman. Thank you, sir.
Yes, you do. Listen, as far as the lines for this fight, Shane Collins is a slight favorite at -160 with Tanzilovi as a +140 underdog. I got to tell you, Finch, I feel like I got a knack for predicting these -140 to -160, -165 favorites, man. Rito, Diego Lopez, some recent ones that come to mind. I feel like Collins has got to be the A side. I don't really feel great about saying, hey, man, Collins to put him away. I think the knockout could happen. It's +275, but nothing tells me Tanzilovi's not tough. And I feel like Collins is probably live to get this thing done a little later. Decision is the most sensible call from me. It's +185 for it. but maybe like an over 1.5 with Collins. I like those parlays a lot. And money line's not bad at -160. I think he's a good prospect. 7-0. I think he goes to 8-0. And having a little bit of a natural size advantage on Tanzilovi, I'd say green flag in this matchup.
Yeah, I think so, man. I liked what I saw. I think as long as he could bully here, he'll be good. You know, he's fought international guys too. He was at Up Next Fighting, Hamza Trad. He was fighting, and I was watching that thing, and he also lives in California as well, but the competition level is actually relatively high out here in California. Like, even though these are local fights and you're seeing records that aren't outstanding, I think the talent that Collins has fought is relatively underrated. I think he's going to look good here in this one. And yeah, I'm with you all the way. I don't have a single bet on this card yet. You know, I wanted to do this with you first, but this early one stood out to me. And I like how you see the boxing advantage as well. It strikes me the same way. I think he controls the striking. It's all going to be up to Tanzilovi to show the Georgian wrestling, and I think he's going to kickbox too much here with Collins.
Let's go. Finch and I both going the American. We're going Collins for the W. America. Next fight up the card, we got Leon Shahbazyan versus Levan Chokheli. It's the brother of Edmund Shahbazyan making his UFC debut. I think Chokheli's dangerous, man. He's got power in both hands. He's aggressive and rips hard on the inside.
Where's my Bellator shirt?
I know, you need it on. His only recent loss is Lorenz Larkin, one of the most explosive welterweights ever. I feel like Chokheli's pretty good. And, you know, with Shahbazyan, he's got 4 straight submission wins. You know, kind of can crushing a bit. He's been Mr. Gilly Gang as of late. I don't think he's, you know, dropping Gilly on Chokheli. I think if anything, he's getting hurt in the pocket. The Shahbazyan chin, I got doubts about. He does have 4 KO losses. Granted, the one against Ryan Loder was kind of an early stoppage, but regardless, I think that Chokheli, pretty powerful guy, Georgian fighter as well. I think he's going to rip some heavy shots on the inside and end up rocking Leon Shahbazyan. I definitely feel like Chokheli is a good addition to the welterweight division. He was solid over in Bellator, you know, beat Roman Falardo back in the day when Faraldo, I should say.
Faraldo, who was good prospect.
They called him the next Masvidal.
Mother effers don't know. AJ knows.
I know, that was impressive, man. Chokheli solid. I like what he brings to the table. 4-1 in his last 5. And yeah, he hasn't fought in a year, which maybe I don't love, but at the end of the day, opposition rate relatively high, has taken on some good guys throughout his Bellator run. And I just don't know with Shahbazyan. He lost to Phil Rowe back in 2019 on Contender Series. And I guess, you know, I have my relative doubts. You know, it seems like a lesser version of his brother, a less physical version of his brother.
Less physical is well said, right? Like, Chokheli hits hard, and he front kicked Sabah Hamasi in the face and knocked him out in Bellator. Like, he's fought bruisers like Sabah Hamasi, guys with fast hands like Roman Faraldo. I think the striking is a mismatch here, and so Shahbazyan's going to need a takedown. He's got a lot of submissions on his record against a lot of bums. You know, and I think he's going to have trouble getting it there, right? The issue he's going to face is he doesn't have the physicality to take Chokheli down. He's going to need those fucking takedowns. I think Chokheli busts him up, probably gets him out of there. I'm going to go with the Bellator vet knockout.
Looking at my boy Isaiah Campos, all I got to say is thank you for $4.99. Did the venue affect Topuria, or is Justin that good? Maybe the layoff affected Topuria. Nearly a year out. I think he overlooked Justin Gaethje. I think his confidence. I think he walked into that fight expecting to stop Gaethje early, and when that didn't come, he wasn't mentally prepared for a hard 5-round war against Justin Gaethje, and that's why I think he lost.
You know, you got to look at Ilia Topuria and go, this guy's shined bright in the big pressure moments. When he was the underdog coming in there against Volkanovski, he shined bright. You know, when he was getting the lightweight title shot, when he was in these big fights, he came in there and got the job done via KO. So here he is in this spot, like coming into it, you got to think they both can shine when the bright lights are on them. And yes, was it a factor that they were in the White House? Of course, but an equal factor, you know, you got to think it was an equal factor on Justin Gaethje too. You know, I think that being at the White House clearly affected this. If you ran that exact same card at the Apex, I don't think you get 7 finishes. I don't. There is something in the air when you have this one-of-one event. And, you know, honestly, I liked the Sphere, and I thought it was really cool. Fuck the Sphere at this point, bro. The White House was way crazier, way cooler, and everybody felt that moment. So while you factor that in, Justin Gaethje had to deal with that as well, and not in the same way that remember they said their producer told him during the break when Ilia Topuria was talking to the doctor and they were doing a thing. They go, the producer's telling me that Justin Gaethje's also getting the break, but Joe Rogan and Daniel Cormier rightly pointed out, yeah, but Ilia's the one hurt, right? In the way you're saying it, did the venue affect them? That really did affect them both equally, and so we just got to get back to the fact that Justin Gaethje is a damn gangster and got the job done. And what I said with AJ before we went live, it's important to say, I think, it wasn't one punch, right? It wasn't one head kick. It was him accumulating damage, hurt him with an uppercut. That was the early, you know, him wiping his eye, and then just accumulated, kept moving his feet. When he would get stuck on the fence, Topuria would do work. When they were back in the center, Justin Gaethje was doing work. You got to give him his flowers. You can't say, yeah, it's just because they were at the White House. You got to give Gaethje his flowers. I know I will.
Let's go. Agreed. Listen, betting lines, Chokheli's a 3-1 favorite. Shahbazyan a plus 260 underdog. So wide lines between these two men. I feel like Chokheli's style is going to match up fairly well on the feet to end up catching Shahbazyan in range. A knockout is minus 125. It's not a great line, though. And then if you like the other side of it, Shahbazyan missed a submission is plus 375 for the sub. I don't love the prop bet inside as much, but I do feel like Chokheli's very live to knock him out. First round plus 300. He's got 10 first round knockouts. Maybe starts fast and throws hard, but you know, at only 3-1 odds, not as juicy. If it was 5-1, I might be considering 3-1. Not really feeling it right now, but I am going to predict that Chokheli does put away Leon Shahbazyan with power shots and ends up getting the better of him on the feet.
I didn't even know it was 3-1, bro. I'm literally looking at the odds for the first time right now as we do this. It makes sense though, because dude, even though it's Bellator, you motherfucking haters, he's fought some good dudes. As AJ pointed out, Roman was a real prospect at the time. Yeah. Still is. You know, I think that I think he's gonna mollywop him on the feet. Like on the feet, this should not be close.
Agreed. We're going Chokheli knockout W. Let's get to the next one. The ladies going after it, Karol, Rosa, and Luana Santos. I feel like Luana Santos is going to get this fight to the ground, and I think she's going to out-grapple Karol Rosa.
Dog?
I'm going slight underdog. What do we got it at? Minus 105, plus 105. Depends where you go. Slight dog, not a great dog. But I think Santos is a close money underdog, wins this fight. I like her grappling. I like the fact that she's 26. Karol Rosa doesn't have a ton of consequence on her strikes. She's win-loss, coming off the win, due for the loss, I feel. And Luana Santos is 26 years old. She's on the rise. She beat Melissa Croden pretty nicely last time. And, you know, Croden's a strong striker with good Muay Thai. And Karol Rosa, I mean, she's pretty well-rounded. She showed good grappling against Nora Cornell, but, you know, it is Nora Cornell. In the fight before, Eileen Perez was able to out-grapple the hell out of her. I could see something similar. Luana Santos getting this fight to the ground, controlling position, going out, getting her hand raised by a decision. Maybe a sub, right? You never know. Possibility. Santos going to shoot for it. She does have 5 submission wins, and she's got really good jiu-jitsu, but positional dominance is probably key to victory number 1 for Luana Santos. And I think she's hitting the takedowns, and I feel Luana Santos is the A side here.
Karol Rosa's, you know, real UFC veteran, but so inconsequential, man. My God, you know, she's just going to throw that inside leg kick and, like, you know, try to stalk you a little bit. I think you got to lean Luana Santos here. Luana Santos pretty good with the submissions, but Eileen Perez couldn't submit Karol Rosa, so maybe they go decision. I think submission is real, you know. Yeah, I'm definitely not, because I bet the over's juiced, isn't it? Let's see. Over 2.5 minus 500. You know what I mean? I think Santos is actually live to submitter, but Santos on the cards is probably still my pick. I think Santos is not out of sorts on the feet at all, right? And then at least has that jiu-jitsu advantage. Karol Rosa, I mean, if we're scoring based on damage, we're in Las Vegas, we're in the Apex. I think Luana Santos could do a little more damage. Take this thing on the cards.
Yeah, decision win for Santos makes sense to me. Plus 165. If you degen chasing the Santos sub, you got a plus 550 line. But just recognize that, Luana Santos getting some submission wins, but like Mariah Agapova, Tayanora Lisboa taking decisions over like Stephanie Egger and Melissa Croden. So it feels more likely that she's probably getting takedowns, shooting for submissions, but probably not finishing by one.
Yeah, wins half of her fights by submission, but fair enough. I mean, I guess it's not Tayanara Lisboa. Yeah. All right. Yeah, the pick is decision. I just feel like the over is a little juiced. Like, don't ruin your parlay picking this over. I'll just say that that's my hunch.
Yeah, I agree. Santos, though, slight underdog. The call for us both. I think she pulls through. So the money line, interesting for sure. Next fight up, we got battle between Gaston Bolaños, ex-Bellator fighter, and Michael Aswell. I think Michael Aswell is about to put it on Gaston Bolaños, Mike Finch. I think he's about to overwhelm him with the volume striking and the high pressure style. And I think the output that he puts together is going to break Bolaños here. I'm actually thinking Michael Aswell is going to end up getting a stoppage. I think Aswell's going to end up getting a TKO. I think he's going to rip good punches. I think he's going to back Bolaños up, make him uncomfortable. And I think we're going to see Michael Aswell end up getting a later stage stoppage. I got doubts about Bolaños moving up to 145. I don't think anything's changing. Aswell's game went 3 hard with Luke Riley, was able to go out there and destroy, granted a one-handed Lucas Almeida, had a war with Bogdan Grad on Contender Series where he outstruck him, could have got that decision. And, the debut, a short notice call, a close enough fight, losing at light damn weight versus Balagioki. So I feel like the Michael Aswell side is probably on the way to busting Bolaños up. I don't think this weight class changes things for Gaston.
And you know what? That Luke Riley fight was so good from Michael Aswell Jr. I feel like he really was able to dig in with like a real prospect and have a barn burner. It was a lot of fun. And then you look at the work of Gaston Bolaños. Yeah, a Bellator guy. So I've seen him quite a bit. A really nice human being, by the way. Did that video shoot with Billy Barnes. It's definitely, he's an exciting fighter and he's fun to watch. But dude, for those of you that bet with me on Premium Channel, I did lock of the week Quang Bang Lee over him, and Quang Bang Lee put him away. Finishable. Like Gaston Bolaños is very finishable and not good at grappling, way too available on the mat too. So there's no real threat of the grappling for Aswell Jr. I think Aswell Jr. is going to bully him, man. Michael Aswell Jr. knows how to move forward. He knows how to get in there and hunt. I think he's going to go hunt down Gaston Bolaños, get him out of there. I think inside the distance is very live.
The money line for Aswell is pretty wide at 4-1 odds with Bolaños as a plus 330 underdog. But what is fairly nice is you can get a little plus money action if you run the KO side plus 170 for Aswell, or you think about inside distance, you're getting plus 125. I feel like he's live to just break Bolaños with volume. Now you might be thinking, what about submission? The reason I'm not like, hell yeah, go for the sub is he's got 0 submission wins. Aswell is a striker. Could he end up subbing Bolaños though? Wouldn't shock me. Bolaños is 0-3 against, submission losses, 0 wins by sub, 3 losses by sub. Aswell doesn't have any submission losses, even though he doesn't have any sub wins. Could end up getting this thing to the ground and choking him out. Could beat him up and then finish him on the floor. The obvious pick is Aswell. I think he's kind of a lock on the card, man.
Yeah, I think so. Gaston Bolaños, not UFC level, Got to call a spade sometimes, guys. Yeah. Not a believer, not a trace, a doubt in my mind. Aswell's good, Aswell Jr. has much more power than Gaston Bolaños. Gaston Bolaños is available to, like, he will exchange with you. So I feel like it's just the right recipe for an Aswell Jr. KO. That's what I'm on, AJ. I think Aswell Jr. puts some shots on him. I think the pressure is going to be too much. I think 15 minutes is too long in there when Michael Aswell Jr. Knockout.
Knockout as well for me, for the Finch. We're on the same side here. Let's keep running up. Next fight on the card. We got Alan Nascimento versus Mitch Raposo.
Fun.
You know, I think kind of close, man. Raposo might end up being a tricky matchup for Nascimento. One of my reasons for surprising the masses with the Nascimento, not pick, but pick against, the fade of Nascimento for me, was because I came to this realization. We don't even know in 2026 how he fares as a flyweight. He has not made flyweight since January of 2023. His last fight was at 130 pounds, catch weight. His fight before, he missed weight and came in at 127.5. So I'm looking at this spot and I'm like, okay, well, for the sake of him staying in this division, he's got to make weight this time. How does he fare? How's the gas tank hold up? Mitch Raposo can go 3 hard. He's not a large flyweight by any sense of the word, but what he does have is grit. He's a gritty Massachusetts pressure fighter. He's got decent close range boxing. He's a stance switch hitter. He's got a solid ground game. He got taken down 7 times by Azat Maksum. Maksum didn't do shit to him and got up right away as well. And Azat Maksum, it's turned out, he was a busted prospect. But one thing I'll say, high-level wrestling background, gave Tagir Ulanbekov a very close fight. I think that Mitch Raposo, looking at his resume, if you just say, oh, man, this guy's 1-2 in the UFC, all right, you can fall into that trap. But a split decision loss to Sumaderji where he hit like 4 takedowns. And Sumaderji's grappling defense has leveled up insane. And then Andre Lima loss. I didn't think it was a split, but, a 29-28 L to Andre Lima, who's an incredible prospect on the rise. I don't know with Nascimento. It's like if Nascimento was to win, I have to bank on him finding that grappling dominance in the position of probably a back take. Red flag on it is his takedown offense is not great. Nascimento doesn't hit at a high clip of, accuracy on takedowns. And then as far as his striking goes, he's got some calf kicks, doesn't offer much hand speed. Raposo actually has some deceptively fast hands. Yeah. He's 27 years old. I feel like he's improving at a pretty rapid rate, and he's a proper flyweight. Also being short might be hard to get at for Nascimento to drag him down. Maybe Nascimento pulls guard. Maybe from there can threaten with some submissions. But I don't know, man. I think Raposo by like split decision in a what the fuck moment of the night. I'm not surprised by this result. I'm going to go Raposo on the decision side of things, pulling off the upset.
AJ on the dog. AJ got plus 170 for you guys. Woo, I could see what you're saying, dude. It's a tough one, man. Cody Durden was looking okay against Alan Nascimento. Alan Nascimento is just so good on the ground, and Mitch Raposo did get taken down a lot in that fight. I wrote down how many. He got taken down 7 times by Maxim. But yeah, holding his own, he can box. He's definitely game on the feet. He used to be New England Cartel. This dude is a better striker than Alan Nascimento. Alan Nascimento is going to need takedowns here. The question is, does he get them? Because Nascimento, not a wrestler, but a strong jiu-jitsu player. Like if he does get to the top position, Alan Nascimento is real live to submit Mitch Raposo. I have to stick with my gut and say Alan Nascimento finds a way. I would say that Mitch Raposo could definitely get off to a good start here, could definitely do some damage on the feet. We haven't seen him fight since October of last year with when he fought the wrestler, like you just said, but they were scheduled for April and he pulled out. He was sick and didn't fight Nascimento. We're going to just say it was strep throat and that he's good now. But I wonder It'd be nice to have more information about that. I have no inside information about why the hell he pulled out in April. But the rematch, or they remade the fight, and it's a good one. I think it comes down to striker versus grappler. I think it comes down to the takedowns. If you do think Nascimento gets the takedown, as I'm going to say he will, I think he's getting this back and hitting the strangle. I'm going to go Nascimento submission. AJ has definitely got me thinking about Raposo boxing this dude up. I might have to do some more tape study and think about this takedown a little more. You know, again, I don't love 7 takedowns given up in the last fight. Red flag for me.
Totally fair. Minus 200 odds for Nascimento. I get it. His jiu-jitsu is really good. And he's been a consistent winner, winning 4 fights in a row. Just like, you know, his 2 most recent wins, I just have some yellow flags on it. Durden was boxing him up a little bit.
Yeah.
And then the fight before that, Fili was out grappling him, and then he ended up fumbling the bag, making a mistake, and then Nascimento got to a dominant position. So I guess I just, you know, I have my Nascimento doubts in 2026. And, you know, the fact that he never even makes weight is another doubt that I have around him. So
that's an issue, you know. Nascimento's big. Yeah, it's a fun one. You know, I really think Nascimento's live to get a sub here. But the odds aren't sexy. Like, you know, Raposo is definitely, he can get aggressive with Nascimento. If he does stuff a couple takedowns, you can see the striking start to go downhill for Nascimento. Cody Durden's a better wrestler, and he still was able to, you know, to make it happen. So yeah, I'm going to stick with my initial gut instinct here and go Nascimento. But if I was going to pick flip on a fight, I would put this on the potential list.
Respect to the potential Finchman pick flip. I think we're probably looking at over 2.5, which is minus 170. And then for me, I'm thinking Raposo on the cards is plus 285. Do you think Nascimento by strangle?
Yeah.
Plus 180 for that, just to read off the prop.
I think so. You know, he's a
Big,
fucking
strong
snake down there. Like, you know, when he was beating up on who was the Brazilian he strangled? It was Rafael Filo was a decision. I'm sorry. Oh, Carlos Hernandez, he smoked. Yes, that's what I was thinking of. I mixed up the Filo fight and the Hernandez fight. Jesus Christ, bro. What I did yesterday was rewatch UFC Freedom 250. Okay, I gotta put more tape study in. Yes, the Filo fight. You know, where he missed weight, as AJ pointed out. He was able to look good. And then, bro, the Anaconda choke against Cody Durden, like, that's a hard dude to, because he was able to bounce back against Filo. That's a hard dude to out wrestle. I think the wrestling's going to go his way.
Sorry, man. I'm fucking hearing something knocking at my window. There's a squirrel or something out there.
Can't you hear me knocking at your windowsill? That's a squirrel?
I don't know. I didn't see it, but maybe a squirrel or raccoon.
Like, bro, would you keep it down in there? Turn this money line on.
About to throw something at the water, scare it off.
AJ comes back with a squirrel. They're fucking fighting.
I'm sorry, I've got it. Animal abuse, bro. PETA will be on me, bro.
Boom. Oh shit. No, man. It's a good one. It's another good one. But yeah, striker versus grappler, right? I mean, at the end of the day, Raposo's got to just light this dude up.
Let's see if he does. We shall find out. Finchman going Nascimento. I'll take the chance at Raposo. Featured prelim up next. Bia Mesquita, Melissa Mullins.
Hey.
It's a Bia Mesquita showcase chance. She's a 6-1 favorite. I'm picking her to win. Her jiu-jitsu's better. Her striking's better. And I think physically she's a problem. I can't bring myself to pick against her against, you know, bottom of the top 15 level girls. I think Melissa Mullins, she's got pretty good grappling. Her striking's all right. Her wrestling's all right. But physically, I think lacking the tools to deal with Bia Mesquita, who's very strong and does have some knockout power. She rocked Monsi Rendon on the feet. And then on the floor, I mean, she is considered the lady goat of Brazilian jiu-jitsu. I think she's too good. I think she probably submits Melissa Mullins and shows just a different level of grappling skill in this matchup. The disparity of them on the mat seems rather large.
Yeah, bro. I can't, like, after that last performance she had, going out there and letting her hands go, you know, that really matters to me because obviously the ground game is A tier, man. Bia Mesquita absolutely stomping Monsi Rendon. You know, because back in LFA. No, I thought it was PFL. It was LFA, wasn't it? Back in LFA, she was looking like those hands were not ready to go. They look ready to go now. She'll probably run through Mullins, dude. Bia Mesquita all day, probably on this card. Lock of the card.
I mean, if you look at American Top Team, what they do with these, Bo Nickel types, they develop some striking on them. And I don't know, seems like it's coming for Bia Mesquita. 6-1 favorite, of course, is wide. Mullins plus 450. I think Mesquita winning this fight inside the distance. That's minus 280. Ugly, but truth. Minus 135 for a sub for the Bia Mesquita side. And then knockout plus 450. I mean, maybe ground and pound if need be, but I just feel like Mullins might have some grappling skills, but I think that Mesquita is of a different class of grappler.
Yeah, come on, dude. Mesquita sub too, like not even just dominating her on the ground. Mesquita inside the distance. I assume the odds are wide.
6-1. Crazy.
Yeah. Let me look at the sub. You know what the problem with the sub is? She's letting her hands go now, man. Mesquita by submission minus 135. Okay, that's not crazy. That is not crazy. But the fact that she's letting her hands go now, dude. Bia Mesquita inside the distance minus 280. That's pretty confident, though. I think that's about right. I think that's actually priced about right. Mesquita inside the distance. It'd be even surprising to see this thing make it in the third round.
I think so. First to second.
Excuse me.
Bia Mesquita showing levels and handling Mullins with relative ease on her cusp of potential contention early next year.
Yeah.
Next fight up the card brings us to our main card opener. And this is a showcase for a blue chip prospect. Also, guys, if you're enjoying the show, hit the likes and subscribe. W to the people watching. Murtsali Magomedov versus Melsik Baghdasaryan. I feel like Magomedov is a goddamn animal. I mean, on Contender Series, he looked crazy against Zurcher, who was supposed to be really good. He was undefeated. And Magomedov, this buzzsawed him in the first round. Seems to have very high-level striking. Has some dangerous submissions, too. 5 wins by sub, 5 wins by KO. The type of guy that can do it all. Definitely has some fucking aura about him, representing Kyrgyzstan. I feel like Melsik Baghdasaryan is too one-dimensional. He's a kickboxer and very much of that like technical kickboxing style and stance. And I feel like Magomedov might even be able to hurt him on the feet, though. He seems to have 2 pistons. So potential that Magomedov rocks Baghdasaryan. But I feel like the path to success, get him to the ground. Take him down, show him levels on the mat, and probably the submission opens up. Baghdasaryan's grappling game is not great. And I feel like, being off for a while, too, for Baghdasaryan. We haven't seen him fight since John Silva knocked him out. Pre-John Silva contendership was the last time we saw Melsik Baghdasaryan. And it's kind of wild, right, that Magomedov's the debut. Like, this is it. If debut, we're giving you Melsik. That tells me they got some fucking faith in this guy, kind of putting him on the fast track. I think they should. Has a really nice stance, has a really nice style, kind of an effortless flow to his kickboxing, and then with a good ground game too. Kind of checks all the boxes and definitely seems like a bit of a freak talent that we're looking at here. And he's young too, 26 years old. I feel like we're looking at a potential top 15 guy in the next couple of years, maybe even a year. I'm going Magomedov, and I think he looks good doing it.
Yeah, against the Baghdasaryan, who's not very active, bro. The one fight against Gene Silva, and then you got to go back to 2023, to see him fight again. So pretty major red flag there on the lack of activity. I'm looking at Magomedov fights and I'm seeing him give up position sometimes, but at least he's a finisher about it. Like, you see that last name and you just think like bully wrestler. But he's ended up on bottom and had to hunt off of guard. He's jumped the guillotine. He'll go for finishes and take a little bit of risk in doing so. I think it's, I don't think this is a Hamzat. This is not like a, because I see him build that way, right? But in this matchup, man, he just really has to get past the striking. Melsik Baghdasaryan's going to try to kick him in the head and try to put him out. And, he might roll the dice a little bit with him because Magomedov could strike too. But once it gets to the mat, he should be able to take over and dominate him. Not only the better wrestler, but the better submission artist. I think Magomedov finding a neck here makes a lot of sense. Magomedov's submission in this matchup, and he keeps the streak going.
Magomedov money line -305. But there's something nice you can find. He's a finisher. He's never won by decision.
Yeah.
-110 inside distance. Covers both sides of it. Are you kidding me? That feels like a great bet. And then for Magomedov to win by sub, if you like that, it's +270. Knockout's the same price point, +270 as well. Reason being, 5 knockouts, 5 submissions.
So are we just going to keep this thing rolling like White House, all finishes? Are we going to keep it rolling at the fucking apex?
I mean, we got a handful. I think this is a finish. And at -110, I like that price tag, man. I feel like that could be a lock of the card, honestly. I think that's like that. I'm going to be on that Magomedov inside distance. I tried to play it earlier, and I didn't have the prop available. Now, got me curious, bro. I'm going to have to check on the live and see what's up.
They dropped props earlier this week, didn't they?
I was very hyped that they did, but still for me, it does not seem to be up yet.
It's because everybody got their parlay blown up by Ilya Taporia,
Fair.
So the books are eaten, except for Arman Sarukian's friend who bet $1 million on Justin Gaethje. He robbed that Jack.com or whatever. Jack.com is jacked, bro. They are fucked. They don't even
have the money to pay him out.
They're like $6 million. We're bankrupt, bro. Get it from the bank.
That's it.
Yeah, man. Melsik Baghdasaryan, a knockout finisher, and a guy who's never lost a decision. His losses are knockout and submission. So I think he's going to go for it. I think he's going to make Magomedov roll the dice a little bit. I don't know if I'm as confident as you in Magomedov because the tape I was watching, bro, like, he ends up on bottom sometimes. Sometimes he doesn't look to be unbelievably physically strong. But I do like the finishes. And you know what? He wasn't fighting bullshit competition either. In Octagon, they were giving him the best competition they could. And I like the activity. So, no, I'm on him too. And I think you're on to something with that bet.
Let's go. Magomedov, inside distance, feels like a confident pick from me. And the Finch, man, Strangle is live. Finish is definitely live. And prospect to watch. I'm calling him blue chip. I can't wait to see what he brings in the debut. Next fight up the card, we have André Lima versus Kevin Borjas. Lima, definitely a rising prospect in a stacked flyweight division. Taking on one of the best opponents in the UFC flyweight division. Borjas, always a tough out. Last time, rocked him and all Rodriguez badly in round number 1. He has a big upset win over Ronaldo Rodriguez as well 3 fights ago. And he entered it all as Mr. Underdog. His fight on Contender Series years ago, he was a +300 underdog, and I picked him to win. And he beat Victor Diaz when everybody overlooked him. And that was the first fight of the season. And I'll never forget. It was one of my legendary moments from Contender Series. I really think that Borjas is good, man.
Yeah.
And I feel like he's got a real chance to have some moments against Lima. But with all that being said, I just think Lima's too technical. He's so fucking polished, clean Muay Thai, good work to the body and head, good leg kicks, good elbows on the inside, solid grappling. Just a guy that checks boxes as a prospect. Whereas Borjas has a really big left hook and he's got some good leg kicks. He's not as well-rounded. And I think Lima being more crafty in all areas, and also the Borjas cardio comes into question. I don't know. Something tells me Lima technically styling on him and probably taking either a later stage finish in the spot or a decision win after Borjas might win some early exchanges. Lima's craftiness comes through. But, Borjas is that underdog. 10-5 as a pro versus 11-0. He's a big underdog because of that stat. I mean, he's lost a lot of fights, but Borjas is good enough to be in the UFC. It's like one of those unfortunate situations, right? The guy that has the skills to be here, but he's not match made nicely. I mean, if you look at Borjas' recent fights, Imanol Rodriguez, the prospect they're building up as Mexico's next flyweight star, Suma Derji, absolutely coming into his own. Before that, gets a win over Ronaldo Rodriguez, Mexican star, where he shocked him. Fight before that, loses to Alessandro Costa and Joshua Van. So it's like hellish matchmaking. Those 4 losses are all good fighters. And Andre Lima's a good fighter too. There's no easy outs for Borjas, man. I think Andre Lima gets some over 1.5 rounds, actually, is what I'm calling for this one for a Lima win. But yeah, man. I think Borjas has a couple of moments early. I don't see him knocking Lima out. And he's got a nice left hook. Could he land it? Sure. Especially as Lima reaches for that fucking body shot. Maybe a Borjas hook lands, but I don't know. Can't go out on a whim and pick Borjas. It just doesn't feel right to me. But definitely I'll say he might have some good exchanges, but I think he loses the fight.
If Lima wants to show us more grappling, now wouldn't be a bad time. You know, I like you calling him an opponent. That's funny because you're right. That's the way he's made with these matches. I mean, even the Ronaldo Rodriguez fight, that was when Ronaldo Rodriguez was talking a lot of shit. He was wearing the hat at the press conference. He was, you know, he was on. He thought he was the blue chip prospect. You know what I mean? He thought he was coming here to take over. Kevin Borjas might be able to slow this thing down, might be able to stay lethal enough to make it all rounds. Lima should be the more talented of the two, brother. I think so. I like Borjas as well. You know, Borjas has definitely got game. He definitely gives people a run for their money. He's definitely a very competent striker. I feel like Lima might surprise us with some grappling here, though, which would not be crazy. He should want a finish at this level. But, you know, we've seen Borjas go long plenty of times. Joshua Van took him to a decision. You know, he's fought some good strikers like the champ and hasn't been finished. So I'll say Lima decision.
Lima by decision plus 110. The money line were priced out, dude. 6-1. You know, ugly lines. That
might be too much credit, bro.
That is. I think like 2 or 3-1 fair for Lima, who's a good prospect. 6-1's crazy. That doesn't make any sense to me.
That might be too much credit. Sometimes with these lines, bro. Yeah. And you wouldn't want to bet decision or bet finish. Like it's too gray. You know?
Lima wins over 1.5 rounds feels right. I think Borjas goes at least 7.5.
AJ with the betting hat on today. Look at you, dog.
Hey, I got you, bro.
Okay, that sounded more reasonable. I mean, he's gonna want, you know, especially after Imanol Rodriguez put him away, like he's gonna want a performance here. So I would even have sweaty palms with that. But sure. I hear you.
Let's go. We're picking Lima to pull through.
Yeah,
he's a good fighter, nasty Muay Thai chops, and definitely one to watch in the flyweight division. Let's keep running. Next fight up the card, we got Hyder Amil versus Christian Rodriguez. C-Rod back on business. I'm picking C-Rod to beat Hyder Amil, Mike Finch. I think just a little bit too crafty, little bit too technically clean, a little bit too good with his grappling. Hyder Amil is a fucking bullying berserker. He's winning the battle of real estate, pressuring you back, throwing big shots, bullying you up against the cage, and just trying to outdog you. I don't think that happens with C-Rod. C-Rod went distance with Melky last time out, loses a close decision to André Fili. Like, there's respectable losses amongst the bunch. Not that Amil doesn't have respectable performances. He's got a William Gomez split decision win. Obviously, a bad knockout loss to Jose Delgado and a rough decision out of Jamal Emmers. But, like, he's a tough pressure fighter. But my problem with him is he is the 36-year-old prospect fighting the 28-year-old prospect. Right. And the 28-year-old prospect also has way more experience than him in the UFC. I think C-Rod should be able to pull through in this one. You know, I feel like this is time to get his get back and get a little momentum going. He's young at 28. He's coming into his groove. I think Hyder Amil's a beatable guy. Kind of just moves in straight lines. I think C-Rod's too clean and crafty for that type of bullying style to work on him. I'll take C-Rod to get this thing. Probably on a judge's scorecards, 29-28. I think his hands will look better. Potentially even rocks the side of Hyder Amil at some point, coming in a little reckless. But the C-Rod side feels like the A side. What do you think, Finch?
C-Rod, dude, he's put some performances on for us. You know, he was on a streak there. Raul Rosas Jr., Cameron Simon, Isaac Bulgarian. That was nice. Beat Austin Bashy. Like, he does good with these guys who want to get a hold of him. And I think Hyder Amil is going to want to get a hold of him. You know, he hasn't been the biggest 145er. Obviously, he missed weight twice, and that's why he ended up moving up. But luckily, he's still got a little bit of reach on Hyder Amil. Yeah, he's got 1.5 inches of reach still on Hyder Amil. I don't think Hyder Amil is going to be able to really bully him here. I think C-Rod's going to outstrike him at range. You know, C-Rod, Rufus Sport, striker, should be able to get it done. Taking the center of the cage. You know, you would worry about having a small cage with Hyder Amil, try to come in there and create some chaos. But I think C-Rod actually does real well against the fence. He does great job scrambling if you take him down. I just think the Andre Fili fight, like, you know, I don't think people were giving enough credit, including me, to Andre Fili. I don't think it was C-Rod's problem, bro. I think C-Rod gets it done past Hyder Amil here. On the cards, though.
-165 C-Rod, Hyder Amil +145. Fight to go over 2.5 is -155. And then the side of C-Rod getting it by a decision is +150. I don't know. Over 1.5 -155 is not bad. I think that's live to happen.
Yeah.
I don't feel crazy high confidence of either fighter finishing. I could see Amil stung with some shots, but C-Rod, he's got pop, but he doesn't have death touch power. He's more of a decision winner than anything else. And then on the side of Hyder Amil, he's got 1 knockout loss. Yeah, bad knee to the face against Delgado, but at the end of it all, took some shots from Jamal Emmers and was able to go all 3 rounds. I think we're looking at 3 hard between the two, and C-Rod getting it done in the cards.
Yeah, I think so, man. I think C-Rod's, you're right with the experience. Like, he's really actually, you know, and a 28-year-old kid, he's fought a lot of better names than Hyder Amil. I feel like he sees Hyder Amil out there and just sees an opponent for him. I think Hyder Amil goes out there and is worried about exchanging too much with Christian Rodriguez, is worried about being stuck out there at range, starts barreling in and running into some easy shit. Yeah, C-Rod bounces. C-Rod bounces back here after the Fili performance nicely.
C-Rod for the dubs for us both. Let's keep running. And our next fight on the card is our featured fight of the night. Vinicius Oliveira moving up to 145, fighting Andre Fili. Mike Finch, I've been talking a lot and starting it off. I want to let you do this one. What do you think?
Oliveira versus Fili is cool, bro. Oliveira, the killer, right? Oliveira walks in there with weapons. He's out there to go, but tires out, like slows down as the fight goes on. And then you got Fili, who I feel like picks up as the fight goes on. I feel like Fili's the 3rd round guy. So I think Oliveira super live early for a finish. Oliveira can blast you with a knee, blast you with punches, and then Andre Fili, more seasoning on him. Andre Fili, you know, more UFC experience. You know, I think Andre Fili 25-13. Jesus Christ. And 35 years old, not really out of his prime. You know, Fili getting these split decisions in 2025, but I appreciate the activity. Split decision with Cub Swanson, split decision with C-Rod, split decision with Jose Delgado. And, you know, there's a red flag there, like with him going to these split decisions, as to where you've got, you know, you've got Oliveira, who's sort of the exact opposite. Like, when he wins, he's putting a stamp on it generally. Obviously got bullied on the ground there by Mario Batista, but it's not really Andre Fili's game to bully people on the ground. I think Andre Fili's striking with this dude, and the striking of Vinicius Oliveira, it's damaging. He's a finisher. I know he went to a decision with Kyler Phillips, Said Nurmagomedov, and Ricky Simone. But the Bernardo Sopai knee, like, Jesus Christ, bro. He's fought some decent names in the UFC. I'm going to give a slight lean to Vinicius Oliveira. But if Andre Fili can make this sort of a point kickboxing match, set a high pace, and try to win 2 and 3, does he pull out a split decision? I think it's a really good fight.
You know, what's interesting is Vinicius Oliveira moving up in weight after being a considerable weight bully at 135 pounds.
True.
You know, he was bigger, stronger than everybody else. Against Mario Batista just 4 months ago, he got fucking destroyed.
Yeah.
Didn't even put much of an effort out there. Kind of got exposed a little bit in the heart
Grappling.
element of the fight. Really just kind of gave up. And I looked at that matchup and I said, didn't they say he had a broken arm? So I don't know if that's true. So either it's an excuse that was not true, or recently recovering from a fracture, not a green flag, moving up in weight in a fight against an Andre Fili who just dropped Jose Delgado last time. And Andre Fili went to a split decision. I'm picking Andre Fili.
Damn,
I think Andre
you
Fili
might
by
be
that close
sneaky with
decision.
that.
I'm feeling like Fili's hands are too fast. I feel like Oliveira is so fucking hittable. And I like Vinny Oliveira, but I liked him at 135.
Yeah.
I don't think he has the same ceiling up in weight. Andre Fili has been around for a long time, and Vinicius Oliveira throws hard, but he hasn't really shown us insane one-punch knockout power. You know, he's bullying people back with the bullying hooks and the wild shit, but it's very easy to see. It's all telegraphed, and Andre Fili's career is built on pinging on that 1-2, having good footwork, striking from range. And to be honest, Andre Fili's pretty well-rounded. I mean, you know, beating a guy like C-Rod to me is a green flag, because I'm thinking to myself, shit, how would I go Vinicius Oliveira with C-Rod? I think C-Rod and him at 145 is a competitive fight.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, Delgado's a fucking sniper on the feet. Delgado's terrifying, and Fili is giving him work. I think Andre Fili is more than a live underdog on this card. I'm picking Fili at plus 205. I'm going crafty veteran getting the win over an overrated guy, a guy that I am also critical. I have to criticize him. I overrated him too. Sure. And I just feel like at 145, whenever I heard he was moving up to 145, I said this to myself, and I said in a live chat, I said, I don't like that for him anymore. I think he's a 35er. And I don't feel like going up in weight produces more success. Yeah, he's not have to cut the weight and whatnot, but I don't know, man. He's not technical at all. It's wild shit. And there's more consequence from these big guys at 145. Yeah, Fili might not be the touch of death, one-shot knockout power, but he's got the ability to land a clean right hand and stun Vinicius Oliveira. And the way that Oliveira fights throughout his whole UFC career is reckless abandon and no respect for the opposition's power. At 145, he's going to have to put those fucking hands up. And I just feel like he's so hittable with the straight shot. I mean, I got to go towards Fili. And, you know, could Oliveira go out and show out? Well, then, okay, he's legit at 145. But I won't pick Oliveira in a 45 debut. Even with Giga Chikadze, I was thinking to myself, damn, I'm like, Giga's slick enough to get some big shots on him. I was kind of thinking Giga might get him. Now they got Fili, who's been active and looking pretty good, regardless of, you know, taking the loss last time. He's been win-loss for a while, but on paper, he's due for the win. I'm going to go little veteran savvy upset. I'm going Fili. I'm going underdog, plus 205.
That was one of the most convincing pitches I've ever heard in Moneyline history, bro. That was a fucking super convincing pitch. You know, Vinicius Oliveira's got some decent names here. Said Nurmagomedov is a quality win. Ricky Simone, I still rate as a quality win. I know Raoni Barcelos just did some work, and Adrian Yanez, they fought to that draw in that dogfight. But, you know, Andre Fili with these split decisions, that might work out here. Like Andre Fili winning that third round might work out. Which one is it? Is it that the bantamweight cut hurt Lock Dog so much that now at 145, he's going to be way more fresh, able to lay on the gas pedal more, able to do the damage that he needs to do without worrying about gassing out like it looked like he did against Mario Batista? Or is it that now he's going to be undersized, so when he does lay on the gas, it's not going to be as effective? That was your pitch, right? That's a live underdog, dude. That's a super live underdog in that context. I'm curious to look at these two side by side at weigh-ins and see the size of these two. See the size, Andre Fili right next to Vinicius Oliveira, because Vinicius Oliveira, 5'9", 70-inch reach, generally, yeah, bullying these 35ers. And then Andre Fili, 5'11", 74-inch reach. If he's significantly bigger, that could be an issue. And he's not like not durable, you know. Andre Fili, again, he loses split decisions and shit. Melky choked him. Dan Ige knocked him out in 2024. That's right. Even Nathaniel Wood, they went long. Don't convince me live on this show to pick Flip because you got me thinking about it, bro. In my head, Vinicius Oliveira comes out there violent against a point fighter against Andre Fili. But in practice, Andre Fili might eke out this decision.
It's a dog fight for sure. Karate Kid Madrid, thank you for $9.99. I like Fili as a dog. Vinicius game very dependent on being bigger, more imposing guy. I think the loss of aura will be tough for him moving forward. I think Fili could outclass him. I like the take, bro. I like the take.
Damn.
$9.99.
All right. Just let me watch the Andre Fili's last two fights and Vinicius's last two fights again. But I wasn't even thinking about the move up in weight. That's right.
That's my biggest sell on Oliveira is like the style that he brings is bullying pressure, walking people down without much of a fear of consequence. And it's not that Fili has the most iron punch ever, but he does have a clean right hand. And the fact that he dropped Delgado, he looked good against Delgado. He looked good as fuck. Yeah. If they gave Delgado Oliveira, we'd probably be picking Delgado by KO, I'm saying. So I guess I'm thinking to myself, Andre Fili is a guy that's, what is he, 35 years old? Yeah. But my whole mentality on age in this fight game has shifted with Justin Gaethje becoming the champ. 35 is good. 37 is good. It's like maybe you hit 38. I start to worry a bit more, especially if you're coming off some losses. But if you're consistently performing at a high level and making things close, I'm going to say we're riding with Andre Fili, bro.
Damn,
Into the valley, bro. We're going Andre Fili for me, bro. I'm going to tell you guys right now, plus 200, I'm my underdog lock.
Yeah, you did it, bro. You did it. You did it. 2-1 dog, and he's used to the featherweights. That's crazy, right? Dude. Andre Fili could be a tricky one for Oliveira. It really is going to be him being a technician, and he's pretty good at that, bro. His Muay Thai is nice. I've previously underrated Andre Fili, and like you said, I think both of us have overrated Vinicius Oliveira. So just seeing them equalize here is fucking my brain up. But I can't say anything you said doesn't make sense. It does.
Let's go.
Andre Fili with a split decision upset. How about that?
I think that's so live. Plus 205 for the Fili side as an underdog. Minus 240 for Vinicius Oliveira. If you like Fili on the scorecards to get it done, it's plus 315. If you think split decisions hitting for Fili, it's plus 1,050. Money line, 2-1 odds. A nice look. I like the Fili side. I'll say he gets back on track with a win. And I don't really like Vinicius Oliveira at 145. I think honestly, it's a hot take, but I think he's just kind of going to blend in with the pack at 145. I don't think he's anything special. At 35, because of his way of bullying people and backing them up, he
could fight with his fucking hands down.
Yeah, those flaws were less of a problem because he could just dog walk everybody, but he's not going to be doing that at 145.
Fair. Yeah, fuck. Yeah, looking at the height and the reach started hitting me too, dude. Yeah, Andre Fili, and he did look so good against Delgado. I mean, obviously we were pretty high on Delgado, but you could have given him that fight,
Bro, he could have got that decision, and Delgado's a fucking destroyer. Holy shit.
Yeah, and Delgado's got power too, so he just did a camp for that. He's looking at this 35-year who fights with his hands out, grabbing his dick. He's like, I could outpoint this dude. I could smack this dude up and move around. If it was in a big cage, that would be even better for Fili,
I know. Agreed. We'll see what happens. Wild fight for sure. Fun featured fight.
AJ got me. God damn, AJ. AJ fucking got me.
I'm throwing the hat on now. I'm with AJ, okay?
Hey,
it's all hat show now.
Let's go. All hat show. Let's run it to the co-main event of the evening. Iwan Cutelaba versus Navajo Stirling. I'm going with Navajo Stirling. I think that he's good enough to showcase it here. Cutelaba is a very good bully. He's got strong wrestling. He's got good grappling threat of even submissions and control. And on the feet, he's good. He rips hard hooks, and he does a good job of, pressuring people backwards and throwing big shots. But I think Navajo's too technical. His takedown defense looks solid, and he's getting better every single fight. From the debut to now, we've seen leaps and bounds. Debuted against Tuco Toko, so it was kind of a meh performance. Then beats Ivan Erslan pretty handily. And then next fight out, Rodolfo Bellato beats him handily. Then shows out against Bruno Lopez and gets a KO, finishes him with ground and pound, but rocked him on the feet. You look at the way that he's been built. This is how you build up a prospect that the UFC is investing in. Contender series win, and then 4, decent level guys, but not elite level caliber. And then they're like, okay, let's give you Cutelaba. Now it's time for the test.
Yeah.
I like that for Navajo. I like that he's had a lot of fucking warm-ups for this level of matchup.
Yeah.
And I feel like Navajo's too clean on the feet. He's going to be countering Cutelaba beautifully. I think he's live to stun Cutelaba, potentially get the knockout, but Navajo's more of a point fighter, though. He's got the knockout ability, but he's happy to win decisions. I'm going Navajo on the judges' scorecards. I think he's going to beat Cutelaba with just craftiness. And I think that he's going to showcase a well-versed MMA game and real clean striking and countering, kind of like the bull to the matador. He'll be the matador here, stealing the nickname from Taporia. I think Navajo Sterling is taking home a win by decision.
Yeah, man. Navajo Sterling should be a pretty bad matchup for Ian Cutelaba. With that being said, Cutelaba's been on one recently, bro. He totally fraud-checked Umar C. It was a dope win, but it really did seem like it was Umar C. who showed us some bankruptcy in his bank account. I think Cutelaba is still Cutelaba. He's still clumsy. He's still not the most accurate guy. And now you're up against a guy who's got some nice, accurate kickboxing, good takedown defense, and you hit the nail on the head, brought up correctly. Like, you want to talk about how to bring a prospect up, look at the list of guys he's gone through. This is the way to do it. Now he sees an Ian Cutelaba, and I think he handles business. I gotta lean Navajo Sterling here. I got to think he's going to be better on the feet. And the key word is that accuracy part. You could see Cutelaba missing shots and Navajo Sterling landing them. That's the difference. Accuracy, a little bit of volume from Navajo Sterling will be key here as well, because Ian Cutelaba, all the brashness and all of the, animosity and the testosterone, a lot of times he doesn't let his hands go very much because he starts missing shots. Like, one of the biggest problems with Ian Cutelaba is he throws big and he's not that fast. So he's throwing big. You can kind of see the wind up, right? And because he doesn't have some crazy speed, like Jamal Hill sucks, but at least he fucking whips that overhand right. Ian Cutelaba is not that type of athlete. He's a big, strong dude, but I think he's going to get pieced up by a Navajo Sterling. And now I got to start looking at the grappling. I got to think Navajo Sterling, after doing 20 camps, training takedown defense, is ready for a B-level wrestler in Ian Cutelaba, who's got a better submission game than ever. But, and it was enough to show that Umar C didn't. I don't think it's enough here. Give me Navajo Sterling being the smarter, more accurate of the two, using his reach and maybe using some jabs, some low kicks, being more technically sound than Ian Cutelaba, getting this thing on the cards.
Minus 330, Navajo Sterling as the favorite here. Cutelaba plus 255. So pretty wide lines. Fight to go over 1.5 is minus 160. If you think Sterling by decision is live, you're going to get it at plus 250. Whereas the KO for Navajo is only plus 115. Navajo Sterling does have the counter shot KO chance, but just recognize he does a good job being technical and winning by decision. And Cutelaba, I agree. I think he's still the same. But to be fair to him, hasn't been finished since 2022. Yeah. And, you're looking at him with a pretty good run. He's 4-2 in his last 6. The Modestas Bukauskas split decision loss was pretty close. And, Navajo Sterling should definitely get it done. But I'm kind of thinking later stage finish or decision. So the official pick on the cards for Navajo.
Yeah, man. Navajo, decision with Rodolfo Bellato, decision with Ivan Urslan, decision with Tuco Tokos. Ian Cutelaba is kind of a version of those guys. I don't think this is like a massive step up for him. I think something like that, right? Ian Cutelaba, very physically strong and would intimidate a dude in his UFC debut, but there's enough seasoning on Sterling now. I think I could trust him here.
Let's go. Sterling, the pick for Finch and I both. Let's run it to the main event of the evening. If you guys are enjoying the show, be sure to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. We got Manel Kape versus Kyoji Horiguchi 2. And Finch, man, is going to give us his breakdown for this fight.
Kyoji Horiguchi is the man. Kyoji Horiguchi is such a technical striker. If you hear the guys talk about him over there in Florida, they're saying when they spar with this guy, they're seeing levels. The stance is unmatched. His ability to move in and move out. Kyoji's been on a fucking roll since losing to, you guessed it, Patchy Mix back in 2022. Sergio Pettis, he was winning that fight, and then he eats that insane spinning back fist, the spinning, weaved under the head kick, came out, wham, hit that spinning back fist. It was an insane kick. One of the second craziest finish I've ever seen live in person. Sergio Pettis over Kyoji Horiguchi. That was crazy. Number one, AJ, Fedor Emelianenko versus Dan Henderson. I literally thought Fedor won. Like I was like, why the fuck is Dan on top of the cage? It was so insane between those two, the way Dan was rocked and then reversed it. But so, that was like wild card stuff, right? Since then, lots of good work outside of the UFC and Bellator and Ryzen, and then comes to the UFC, submits Tagir Ulanbekov, gets the finish, and then looks so good pitching out Amir Albazi. I mean, styling on Amir Albazi, but who is Amir Albazi? Amir Albazi is a submission grappler, right? He's a wrestler. Now he's going to be stepping in here against Manel Kape, who showed levels to Brandon Royval, finishing him, who showed levels to Asu Almabayev, who was trying to take him down, puts him away in the third round, who smoked Bruno Silva, which doesn't look that hard to do, I guess. Muhammad Makayev and that crazy fight between those two before Muhammad Makayev got kicked out of the UFC, but, did it with wrestling. And, Manel Kape injured his foot, right? Like broke his foot in that fight. So that was a wild card too. Felipe Dos Anjos win is nice before that. I think he fights strikers pretty damn well. Manel Kape, 32 years old, in his prime. Kyoji Horiguchi, not old, 35 years old, and has a wealth of experience, 36-5. So he's definitely a tough matchup for Manel Kape. And it'll be tough for Manel Kape to get to because of the way he stands. But I think Manel Kape's kicking game is ready for the range too. I don't think Kyoji Horiguchi is going to be able to just be completely safe on the outside, because Manel Kape is going to be continue to be a threat in every single range. And when you really start exchanging with Manel Kape, who's got more power? Who's the more dangerous of the two? I got to lean Manel Kape. I got to think Manel Kape can either do damage and get up on rounds, or actually maybe even finish Kyoji Horiguchi. There's a world where Manel Kape knocks Kyoji Horiguchi out. I would be more hard-pressed to see a Kyoji Horiguchi knockout here. It would be him, eking out rounds. Give me the guy who's got just more TNT, more dynamite in the shots. I'll take Manel Kape on this one.
This is an interesting battle, right? Because you have two of the quickest strikers in the UFC flyweight division facing off. And in a rematch where their first fight was kind of crazy as well. I feel like Horiguchi has a great ability to close distance, and who also has a great ability to close distance, Manel Kape. I've said it in the past. Kape like effortlessly skates in and out of range.
Yeah.
Horiguchi is the closest guy to doing the same type of thing. And it's also interesting too, because it's a mirror match, a southpaw orthodox. Things are about to get fucking crazy in this spot. I really feel like Kape has the power edge. I think speed is close, but maybe Horiguchi just a hair faster. But the one element of this fight that I find interesting is the fact that Horiguchi beat him before, and the fact that Horiguchi has a slight advantage in grappling. Now, Manel Kape, if you are to just try and pressure grapple him like Muhammad Makayev, you better have the elitist of elite wrestling, and you better hold the shorts and cheat your way to a win like Makayev did. Let's be honest. But regardless, I could see Kyoji Horiguchi having moments where if this hits the ground, he's positionally sound and wins the technical grappling warfare of a very competitive fight. I feel like it's a coin flip matchup, but something tells me Kyoji is live to pull this one out. I don't know. Something's just pushing me that direction. I really feel like, both are slick strikers with incredible footwork. I look at Kape's recent fights and I say to myself, okay, he destroyed Brandon Royval. and he's got power for sure, but I don't want to let that fight blur the vision. Like Brandon Royval might be cooked at this point. Brandon Royval also looked pretty bad in that spot. You know, he was in a war with Joshua Van, and I don't know, didn't seem to come back the same. Kape made it look like a fucking joke. Horiguchi obviously pushed hard with Amir Albazi, but got a pretty clean win. It's one of those stylistic clashes where I could see who hits the straight shot first. Is it Kape or Horiguchi? Does the straight left land for Kape and bust Horiguchi up, or does Horiguchi get a straight left through? I feel like it comes down to the wire. Horiguchi potentially getting some type of control on the ground in round 5, stealing a split decision. It feels like one of those fights to me. I'm going to say 48-47 in the Horiguchi direction. I'm going to say slight lean Horiguchi. But like Finch, I mean, you bring up great points. The power is what I'm worried about. I'm worried about being at the apex. And even in a 50-50 fight, Horiguchi's face being all busted up and Kape not having a scratch on him, that ends up winning the battle of optics. I don't know, man. The Horiguchi submission threat is live. He subbed him the first time. I know it was a long time ago, but I do think he's still the better grappler of the two if it gets there. Could it be a straight shot from Horiguchi that shocks Kape? Maybe. Jesus. Wild fight, man. Both guys are on a tear. 7-1 in the past 8 for Kape. 7-0-1 no contest for Horiguchi. Two guys on fire. The winner of this fight, number 1 contender, without a doubt. I don't know, man. Horiguchi, he might just be like ever so slightly too crafty. Like I'm looking at Kape's recent opponents and he's looked fucking awesome. But like Bruno Silva, you know, he's kind of a more standing target, you know, like a sitting duck for shots. Almabayev, more of a wrestler. And then Royval, a good pressure fighter, guy willing to engage, but, you know, a little bit on the skinny side, doesn't necessarily have the best boxing. Whereas
Green zone striker, he keeps it into the jab.
He's got some length. Horiguchi's a wild man, dude. It's wild. It's a wild fight, bro. Like making this main event pick was torture for me earlier today. It was hard. I feel like Horiguchi close, but I also love Manel Kape, bro. You got two of my favorites. It's hard to make a pick. I pick them both all of the fucking time. So to pick against either one of them, hard. But I don't know, slight lean Horiguchi. I'll pick him to pull out a close one.
5-inch reach advantage from Manel Kape.
That's one worry.
You know, he got beat up on the ground against Kyoji in the last fight, but that was in 2017. I feel like Manel Kape, UFC 2026 version, I don't see Kyoji taking him down. Kyoji does have some nice takedowns, and especially because you start worrying about all the grappling and then boom, he puts a takedown in there. Mike Brown is a solid coach, and he definitely blends the striking and the grappling pretty nicely with these guys. You know, he's got Danny Sabatello. He's got all types of guys out there. I think Kyoji Horiguchi is still going to threaten with the grappling, but it would surprise me to see him bully Manel Kape with grappling. I think Manel Kape could keep this thing on the feet where he likes to do his best work. And then Kyoji Horiguchi defensively, brilliant. Like defensively, that's karate stance of his. He's fucking hard to get to. It's the offense where I go, like you said it, Manel Kape slides in and out. I could see Manel Kape slide in and fucking cracking Kyoji Horiguchi with something. I'm a little more hesitant to say Kyoji can get more than a slight lead in a round against Manel Kape. You know, if there's going to be moments in this fight, I got to think Manel Kape makes moments happen. He tries to set up a head kick. He blasts some stuff. He might be a little quicker than Kyoji Horiguchi, which would really pay dividends if I'm on with that. I think Kyoji Horiguchi is very intelligent, like very, very, such a technical style, such a control of a fight. He really controls a fight very well. Manel Kape, a little more of a disruptive force. You know, Manel Kape could come in there and let a nice combination go and put something through the guard. So I'm going to go with the guy who I think is hunting more than Kyoji is, but it's a 25-minute fight. Kyoji Horiguchi knows how to win rounds, and he's shown his level in the UFC. You know, I think he's getting respect after his return to the UFC. So no mistake, it's a fight. I see what you're seeing as well. But I do think, you know, we're getting the 2026 version of these two. And I think it's Manel Kape who is going to give Kyoji the bloody nose. It's Manel Kape who finds a body kick that really cracks. And when Kyoji goes to get it back, he's in a danger zone. I think he could be a little hesitant here. it would be really weird to see a hesitant Manel Kape to me.
Let's go. I like the Finchman on the other side. We got a coin flip warfare in this one. One of us shall be right. It's minus 160 for Manel Kape. Kyoji Horiguchi plus 140. And pretty badass fight. Any props calling your name, Finch?
These guys are the biggest threat to Van. Yeah, right. These are two tough strikers for Joshua Van to deal with. Kyoji Horiguchi, a master of range, one of the best stances in the UFC, always has his legs active, always has his feet active. Really, really, I love his energy management, his striking distance management. There's so many things that are beautiful about his style. And Asians do age well, bro. I was teaching my class at UFC Gym Huntington Beach, and the guy was asking me how old I was. So I asked him how old he was. He goes, oh, I'm whatever, 48. I'm like, what the fuck? It's crazy to see a 48-year-old dude you thought was 30, you know? So yeah, they say black don't crack. Well, Asians are even a level up, dude, you know? As far as like athletic performances, though, it's Kyoji Horiguchi at 35 and Manel Kape at 32. I want to say Manel Kape has an athletic snappiness advantage, right? And they're in the apex cage. I think Kyoji would even benefit more in that pay-per-view size cage. I think Manel Kape keeping him not too far away is a good thing. When you get down to these little, 5'5"? What are we looking at here? 5'4" for Kyoji Horiguchi and 5'5" for Manel Kape. The little cage is kind of the big cage. You know what I mean? It's like you put heavyweights in the full 30-foot cage, and it's kind of the same distance for these little guys when they're in the apex, if that makes any sense. With that being said, I do think Manel Kape, his offense is going to happen regardless of cage size here. It's a fun one, and I could easily see it going 5.
Let's go. Finchman going Kape. I'm going Horiguchi. We got an absolute badass battle between these savages. And we're not done with the show just yet because we got to cook with a parlay to play.
All the competition that try to compete, stand back, watch the bomb drop.
Parlay time. Open up your wallets and let's bet on some fist fights.
Yeah, parlay time. I know Ian Cutelaba just fraud checked Umar C, but I'm going Stirling on Saturday night. Yeah, I think Navajo Stirling should be a lock against Ian Cutelaba because of the matchup, right? He's going to be able to land even light shots, even peppering shots on Ian Cutelaba. He's good at winning decisions. He's good at winning rounds. He's hard to take down against the fence. I think open mat, there's very little shot that Ian Cutelaba can take him down. Cutelaba might have a submission grappling advantage at this point. I doubt it gets there. Give me Navajo Stirling pitching a shutout against an Ian Cutelaba who should be riding high after he came through as a dog in the last one.
I'm going Michael Aswell, 4-1. He's the big favorite. Should pull through. This parlay is around minus 159, lining them both up. Legit MMA, Jamal Hill champ 2027. Thank you, 499. Maybe in UFC 6, but I don't think in real life. All right. W, bro. Holy
That's
shit.
fucking hilarious, dude. Legit MMA. Everybody hates Jamal Hill so much, dude. You are going to be stirring the pot with that one. That's fucking awesome.
Pot stirrer, this guy. Listen, man, I think we got a fire parlay. I think we got some fire picks.
Yeah.
The main event scares the shit out of me. Like, it's a wild fight. I gotta say, it was really.
You ain't got to bet on it. I think Warren Buffett said it well, right? He's like, the difference between trading stocks and playing baseball is in baseball, you have to swing. You're going to get called ball strikes, right? You're going to get called 3 strikes and you're out. So you got to swing. As to where in stock trading, I could throw Microsoft at him. I could throw SpaceX at him, and he doesn't have to swing. There's no called strikes. Similar in betting, right? You ain't got to bet on that main event, AJ. Enjoy
Respect.
it.
You're right. I can sit back and relax, man.
I could throw Kyoji Horiguchi at you, Manel Kape at you. You just stay at the plate and wait, brother.
Yeah, listen, I think I got my home run hitter on this card, all things considered. I think got one of those, Big J underdog reads. We need a nice one after the White House shit. I think something fire is on the
bro.
horizon.
Jeez, Ilia
know.
Taporia sank my battleship, and I was on Poetan, bro.
Same.
So absolutely need a massive bounce back in premium channel.
Yes.
Luckily, I've been entertaining the folks. Okay, I've been cranking
Good,
out as
man.
much content as I fucking can. I worked as hard as AJ last week. Okay,
Glad to hear
that
that.
usually doesn't
did a lot.
happen.
You did a lot.
Okay, I'm trying to
Yeah.
step my game up. You like my
You're good.
shorts?
Yes, I
Let's
like
see
the one that went viral too
One went viral.
on Instagram.
One went viral on Instagram.
Yeah, it had like at least 20, 30,000 views.
Thank you, bro. What the fuck? Dude, I crank out so much. I've had my dad over too. I don't even know. Let me look. Let me look at this shit. Mike Finch show. What went viral? Let's see. I don't even know where to see the. Oh, Sean O'Malley one. Okay. I did not know this, bro. I'm literally seeing this for the first time.
You did? That's funny as hell.
It is
Yeah, 28K.
782 likes. Thank you,
Yeah.
guys. Wow, you
Yeah,
just
that's
blew
good
my
shit.
mind. I had no fucking idea. Shout out to
That's great.
Trading Champ for adding some sauce on this thing,
That'll be
editing it.
Let's go.
Let's fucking go. Thank you, AJ.
go.
AJ, now I feel better about all that fucking work I
It's
put in.
good.
I
Good.
worked my ass off just for Ilia Taporia to blow up my parlays. You know, it's all good.
It's all good.
Guys, we fucking love every single one of you. We've been talking for 2 hours and 18 minutes. I'm sure you're sick of us, but if you're not completely sick of me yet, I am going to be live right after this. I'm going to give you guys my 5 most confident picks for UFC Manel Kape versus Kyoji Horiguchi. We're back at the fucking Apex where we've done tons of quality work. Let's get back to it.
Let's go. Go watch the Finch, man. We love you, Savages. I'll see you guys tomorrow with some live streams. Finch, man, we'll see you guys in a few minutes with his show. Talk to you guys in a bit. Smash the likes on the way out. And if you're a first-time watcher, sub it up because we're closing in on 61,000. We're right on the door knocking on it, just like 70 away, maybe even less at this point. So keep it riding. I'll be live Saturday. Big things coming on the channel and even a PFL breakdown next week. So call me the real Savage J up in this bitch, man. Hey,
You would.
thank you, bro. Thank you. Love you guys. Peace out. Bye-bye.